for sure, for sure.
It's kind of
Okay.
interesting bunch. Backs against the wall for JDG, leaning into a very different look. Honestly, same though could kind of be said for TS without their backs being against the wall, right? Leaning into something we haven't seen.
Fronts
in-
against
Wait,
the
at
wall.
least in
literally every
playoffs, yeah.
player is running
Yeah.
Inspiration second.
Something we know
Holy
they could
shit.
play, compositions they brought out through the regular season, but again, not really in playoffs.
It's just
Leaning
OP,
up towards
dude.
his top sign. Shouldn't be able to find anything on the Flandre.
Yeah, Flandre going to be playing the Rumble in the Jungle, except not in the jungle. But look at this, late invade comes through in the end. Flandre hasn't seen it just yet. He moved back into his lane.
And they're committing for the swap.
Okay, shenanigans. Absolute shenanigans occurring here in the LPL here in game number 4 when JDG play for aggressive lanes. Top esports shake their head and they don't even entertain the idea.
They completely dodge out.
For
on
context for everyone at home,
thinking, hey,
this is
we have
pre-lane
Sunday,
swap
we
meta.
should be able
This
to
is when
do
NIP
it.
Right,
have done
yeah,
it one
this is
time.
back before that happened.
Yeah.
Right? This is late spring.
By
This was
Kalista
not
Ashe
normal
now.
behavior.
But you're hoping that you could do a similar thing up in top lane. You have the sustain coming out from Jackie Love, and now Mako on the Tom Kench isn't going to feel anywhere near as bad being on the melee champion.
So now he's going to pretty much be denied. My favorite little mini game you can do where we have these lane swaps, which I'm warning you guys at home now, this could be a big feature in MSI.
Wait, hold on one
it's
second.
The game of which top laner can get a
how
single
do I
CS first.
rewind
so
it?
Far, 2.5 minutes into the game, we're still
I think if you
at
scroll to the
0-0
bottom,
between the top laners.
the problem is it's a
See who
long
can
VOD, so
find
you'll have to
that
be.
fateful CS
Yeah.
at the first
All
moment.
right, hold on.
It looks
Do I need to
muting
make you, like,
the
host or
display
something?
capture for a second? And
like it is. In fact,
all right, so 403.51, 403. As far back as I go. Here, yeah, we're gonna go back and check something again real quick. All right. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, you can't click the screen if you're trying to play it. You have to click the actual play button on the. You have to scroll to the bottom. And it,
Oh my god!
I don't know why that is a thing, but
that's so cringe, bro.
it's because it like starts for a second and then doesn't actually start.
You have the sustain
Yeah.
coming out from Jackie Love, and now Mako
All right.
on the Tom Kench isn't going to feel anywhere near as bad being on the melee champion.
so now he's going
I think my energy is way too low here.
My favorite little mini game you can do where we have these lane swaps, which I'm warning you
Okay,
guys at home
we're
now,
good,
this
we're
could
good.
be a big feature in MSI. It's the game of which top laner can get a single CS first. So far, 2.5 minutes into the game, we're still at 0-0 between the top laners. We'll see who can find that fateful CS at the first moment. It looks like it is, in fact, going to be Flandre! He gets the wooden spoon.
Oh, he's kind of being separated. We'll see if Tien can at least force a flash here.
He doesn't just get a wooden spoon, he gets a tip and a spear behind it as well. That's going to be flash forced from Flandre.
The
Yeah.
Xinjiao quote was good. I like that. That's
And
good
so many
flavor.
minions going to be going down there. 369 still level 1, still not a single CS. And Kanavi threatening a dive now on the bottom side. Ghost going to be popped by 369. Has the W to buffer a lot of the damage. And CC missing. Walks away with his life. The ruler gets chunked by the tower, but it's enough for first blood.
Great
That
by
was
JG,
good
not even
energy
allowing
management on that
369
one.
to hit that level 2
You,
point. Like we said,
so
the
it-
life was going to be
Oh my
rough
god, I
over here
hate
for the
the way
Cassante,
this
but
does
both
it.
Yeah,
top
he's-
laners,
yeah.
I mean, having a hell of a time. It's all
Hold
about
on.
funneling
Well,
each.
Pretty sure he's
so
back
the,
there as
the
well.
energy management was really good there because I felt the fact that you brought it up to be able to deal with the fact that, oh yeah, they're making the dive, this is going to be the first blood, this is most likely going to be that, but it didn't go so far that you were like over indexing on what was pretty obviously going to be a guaranteed play. So good energy management on that one. I like that a lot. Hell yeah, brother.
Nice.
into the AD carries.
Worth mentioning
Dodging
as
out
well,
some of the harder
there's
matchups.
obviously quite a delay
So 369 now commits his
on the
TP.
stream.
Will he survive though? The stun doesn't land
Wait,
from
hold on.
Kanavi, and actually he's locked a ruler into the tower. The tower shot not quite enough, but it was damn close. Now the redive once again. Kanavi tanking up here. 369 gonna die for a second time as Kanavi gets the reset, and yet
I
more
think-
minions die under this tower.
I think you could have gone bigger there.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Because that was really cool. Like, that moment was really fucking cool, and you peaked at, like, a 5. I think
Yeah.
that was, like, a 7, objectively.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think as well, like, even the fact that he dies after and nobody dies after he's outplayed them
Yeah.
so hard is it's also like a big disappointment moment that
Mhm.
I sort of didn't cash in on at all.
Yeah, like, I think you could have gone a step or 2 above that, and it's still like, nobody would have been like, "Oh my god, he's getting way too excited for nothing." Like, that was a really cool moment that's one of those things, especially, like, if you're talking about your goal is world finals, right? When you think about world finals, when you think about the biggest games in League of Legends, so much of the biggest games is making sure that you are giving the celebration, the excitement, the hype towards the moments that deserve them.
Yeah.
That's one of your angles right there. That moment should not have been a 5, I don't think. I think that should have been a 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that I sort of treated it the same as I did the first dive, but I don't think that they are
Right, yeah,
equal
they're
in
very
gameplay
different.
quality.
The 2 dives, because the first dive is totally predictable. The first dive is literally exactly why you do the lane swap, right? The first dive is what every coach has written in his notebook about, okay, this is how it's going to happen. If my top laner dies, it's fine. Like, that's literally how we play the game. The second one is not. The second one is not according to the playbook. And I think that would be probably one of my big things that I would highlight is when you're looking at plays and you're understanding, oh, should I overreact to this? Should I underreact to this? How should I react to this? Is it expected? Is this part of the playbook?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, it's huge, right? Like, lane swaps are a great example because, lane swaps right before MSI kind of became more normalized again. But before that, it was like, oh my god, if there's a lane swap, you're losing your mind. But if you go back to, like,
Yeah.
season 4, if it was lane swap, it's like, oh, okay, bro, I'm literally not even at my computer. I am using the restroom. I am making a snack. I'm cooking dinner. Like, I'm reading a book. I don't give a shit about this lane swap, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is objective. Everything has a subjective nature to it on what is the expectation for the game. And if something defies expectation, like that dive down there in the bottom lane, it should be elevated.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's continue.
I like the gumption, the moxie to TP back down there, try to make something happen under Ruler, but I don't see any world where you were not just going to get redone with how many minions were waiting in the wings. So JDG really feeling fortunate. Oh, no.
That's a red buff as well. Kanavi has flash. Oh, he face plants into the wall, and the thumbs down comes out from Tien.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Because that was honestly just like a fucking clown kill. Like, there's no reason Kanavi should have died there. But no, that was good. That was good.
We've ever seen in this matchup.
I swear Kanavi wasn't even looking at his screen at the start of that.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he doing, bro? Is he
answer back because Ruler has been being absolutely funneled gold so far, even having a bit of a bounty there. 2-0-0 up on the Kalista.
Yeah, he's feeling good. Tien. Oh, this is cheap. Just waits in the brush as well. Dive straight onto Kanavi there. Red Bull taken away, and I mean, he tries to get to the wall.
That was the worst
great read though. By Tien though, right? Because it's
honestly,
like, okay, you're playing up towards top side, they're playing towards bot. Instead of going for that top lane scuttle crab, kind of circumvent.
I think you should have been more critical of the flash. That was actually just boosted as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, obviously, you shouldn't call it that on air, right? But I think you should have been like a real blunder of a flash. You absolutely should have called it a blunder, like because especially when we're watching the replay, you can see Xin Zhao's animation start. Like, the character is moving his spear up. He is executing the attack animation. As he does that, Viego is flashing. That is just like, he literally played badly. So I would say, man, lean into that. Lean into, like, man, Kanavi feeling the pressure here in the elimination game for JDG, flashing into what was a certain death. He's gonna want that one back, right? Like, just leaning into the fact that Because again, so much of the reason why people get invested in pro play is because they are seeing the epitome of what it looks like to play this game that they also all love and play, right? And so everybody that has ever played League of Legends for any amount of time has fucked up a flash before because they got nervous that they were about to die. I think you could have
Yeah.
leaned into that more.
Sorry, just typing that down. But yeah, I agree.
No,
I agree because like
you're good, dude.
I think the thing is, I try not to focus too hard on like dumb shit, but actually in a game like this, dumb shit fucking matters. Like you can get away with a dumb flash in regular season, but actually this lower bracket and one more loss and they're out the tournament.
Impacts so much.
Like
yeah.
you can't just make a fucking dumb flash 5 minutes into the game. So I agree. I think maybe like because I kind of lent into the silly side of it, but actually I think during the replay I should have brought it back to the serious side of actually you can't fuck up like this in a game like this.
That's a great way to look at it. I think it's an astute observation. Because in the moment, yeah, you can sort of laugh at it and just be like, oh, man, the flash, it doesn't even work out. He won't clear the wall. He's down. Another kill going back over to top esports. Like, you can do that. But once you get to the replay, and this is the, do you remember the Faker Shockwave will find them all?
Yeah.
From 2017? Yeah. So I still, to this day, argue with randoms with anime avatars on the internet about how I made the right call in the moment. And I still believe that I do. I have watched that clip back over 100 times. I made the right call in the moment. The error that I made is later on in that cast, when we were looking back at that being the turning point in the game, when we were looking back at replays, when we were assessing the state of the game, I kept talking about Faker when I shouldn't have. The replay is the time where you break down what happened more seriously. Whereas in the moment, you just want to express the immediate emotion that the viewer is going to feel. The immediate emotion that the viewer is going to feel is comical in that moment because Viego flashed like a dork. He died. It was stupid, right? Like it was just a stupid play. So having the more jovial, lighthearted thing, that's going to resonate. But once you're in the replay, looking at it like, man, that flash... That's 5 minutes now. That's 300 seconds.
Yeah.
If this man is not going to have that cooldown, that's big. Always embrace honesty to emotion in the moment. Embrace honesty to the game state in the replay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and bringing it back to the stakes as well during that replay, like kind of having that big emotive moment, but then grounding it back to reality during the replay. I like that I've never really thought about that as a structure. When I think about replays, historically, it's always been like replays are the color caster's job, you know? Like that's kind of the extent of the thought.
A lot of times they are, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. I've never really thought about it fundamentally like that. It's like because when I end up doing a replay as a play-by-play, I've always just kind of pseudo color cast it. But actually, there's more to be brought to it than that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to it. So, hey, at least we're getting some value out of the VOD review, right?
Hell yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I feel like it's more structural than I expected it to be, the feedback. Not like, I don't know. I expected it to be much more about like, I expected your criticisms of me, and maybe they will be later, to be more about what I'm saying during the fights as opposed to the structural stuff. But actually, I'm seeing some more significant structural flaws than I expected.
Well, yeah, the structure things are also going to be more prevalent during the early game.
That's
like,
true.
The bigger fights obviously happen later on in the game. Like we're still in laning phase. You know, the score is 2-1. It's smaller fights. We'll get more into team fight feedback as the game goes on. But early on, most of the mistakes that you're going to see people make, and when I say you see people make, I'm including myself in that, are structural mistakes. All right, let's do it.
Circumventing, working his way around to set that trap play was just really nice to see from Tien.
Yeah. Really smart gameplay coming out from him. Using that Xin Zhao to find an early lead, despite how far ahead Ruler is currently. I mean, naturally, he's going to build an individual lead against the Senna. You expect that, but 2 extra kills are just a cherry on top of everything else. 2-1, and a big gold lead to start us off for JDG. It feels like they've won out the lane swap, even though it was top esports that started.
Yeah, and now Tien might be able to find a bit of a time here. He's going to be spotted out by the ward.
Can they find the angle? Ruler, no summon is available and gets caught by Mako. The root will land as well. Ruler down, Tien forced to flash, and it's a kill into Jagulov's pocket is missing. Licked on the way out.
TS hoping to get a bit more there.
I think
but
I need to watch that one again. 1 second.
No worries.
All right, where are we? 407.5. Okay.
We'll find a bit of a time here. It's going to be spotted out by the ward.
Can they find the angle? Ruler, no summon is available and gets caught by Mako. The root will land.
You were slow to the fight.
Yeah, it is
You-
worth mentioning the whole commentary is like a second delayed compared to me and my because it's
yeah,
online.
because you guys are remote. Yeah. Okay, that actually explains a lot of it.
Yeah.
That explains a lot of it because I felt like your energy was still in ramp up when it needed to be there
I know.
for the start of that fight. Yeah.
Honestly, my biggest problem with casting LPL is that delay. It drives me fucking
that's so
bananas.
rough.
But
Yeah. That actually sucks. So yeah, my feedback for this fight is that it needed to be 1 second faster. So if you have 1 second delay, then that makes sense. Because if that was 1 second faster, right? Like if you had ramped up 1 more second like into the fight and you were immediately able to just be there popping off as soon as Tom Kench lands his dive on the Callista, it makes that fight so much like I'm so much more invested in that fight now.
I do still think even with the delay considered, I don't think I'm hitting a high enough height, and also I'm focusing on like Tien having to flash out, but like Tien flashing out doesn't matter in the grand scheme of this play. They just shut down Ruler,
story,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's not the story. Ruler is the story. Like, hold on here. Let's go back again. By the way, chat, remember I told you that this is going to be very nebulous and intricate. So this is what we're doing. Is this the right spot?
Matchup into 369, it turns out.
Well,
It's a little
also
early.
Dragon coming up, and one thing JDG have been doing really well so far in this first 6 minutes, right, is like, hey, again, they kind of got the better end of the lane swap with those 2 dives, so Ruler's feeling really strong. So
yeah, this is
constantly rotating
quite
to wherever
early,
the
I think.
objective is. They know they're going to get it.
oh wait,
Yeah.
is this
What's
after
TS now
the
not getting
play?
any of the first
This
3
must be
jumps,
after
not
the
getting
play,
those
right?
first
Because
3.
Ruler's died.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
things
Yeah, hold
going
on.
pretty nice. So
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
naturally, he's gonna.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, here we are.
You expect that, but 2 extra kills are just a cherry on top of everything else. 2-1, and a big gold lead.
It's
starts
really
off for
tough to
JDG.
find a
Feels like
timestamp
they
on a
won
4-hour
out the
VOD.
I know.
even though it was top esports that started.
I could maybe find a
And
VOD
now
of the single
Tien
game actually. If
be
you
able
want.
to find a bit of a time here. It's going to be spotted out by the ward.
Can they find the angle? Ruler, no.
So even there, like I have to say that was almost an entire second between Lyric leaving it and you picking it up.
Yeah,
I think you could have got in earlier
yeah,
because even if there is a delay between what you guys are saying, Lyric and you have both been doing this for long enough that you know he understands a fight is coming. You understand a fight is coming. He's leaving that for you to pick up. I think you could have got in earlier there.
yeah. I agree with that.
Other lane,
I
save
think
that
you
Drake.
should have got in earlier and started setting yourself up so that when Tom
Summons-
Kench
oh,
hits
summons
this
available.
abyssal dive on Callista, you should be popping off. This is Ruler's Callista that's currently 2-0 getting caught in an elimination game for JDG. Right?
Yeah,
Other lane,
the stakes are much
Other
higher than
lane,
I'm
save
giving
that
credit for.
That
Wait,
JDG
why
are
Sorry, I
did
just
we
found
reset?
despite
a VOD of the
how
actual
far
game, so
ahead.
we can.
spotted out by the ward.
Okay, yeah. No, that's way better.
Can they find
Yeah.
the angle? Ruler,
Yeah. So Callista is literally up in the air as you're saying the word angle.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you want to be faster, right? And that's just like, again, I understand that you guys have the delay, you have the 1 second thing because you're doing the remote like it's tough, right? I'm not going to begrudge you that because of the fact that you have technical limitations, but that's one of the things to consider in general is you want to set yourself up to be able to hit that crescendo when it arrives.
yeah.
Mhm.
And especially when Ruler is caught, like we
It's
literally
so
just been
much.
talking about how Ruler's been funneled. Like
Yeah.
that needs to be the sole focus of this, and like ham the fuck out of that, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go in with Ruler getting caught. Like that's one of your biggest responsibilities as a play-by-play commentator is isolating what matters the most. Because at any given time in a team fight, 25 different things are going to be happening. Obviously, you can't talk about 25 different things at once.
Yeah.
But you have to isolate what's the most important. And right there, Ruler getting caught, man, that's what I care about.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. All right, let's continue.
No summon is available and gets caught by Mako. The root will land as well. Ruler down. Tien forced to flash, and it's a kill into Jaculov's pocket is missing. Licked on the way out.
TS hoping.
I like that little bit at the end
there,
of
but with
missing
Kanavi making
the
his presence
inflict.
shown, only
It just
gonna be,
does not fucking
kept for the
matter,
one
and it
kill,
actually
but
takes
still
away
another
high
kill
from
on
what
Jaculov, and again, a
actually
small
matters, you
bounty
know?
going over as well. I believe it was
Yeah,
250
yeah, it's
gold.
just like,
You'll take
but
every
to
bit
be
you can
fair,
get when
I
you're on.
like it's one of those things where, you know, you're in the moment, you're just keeping on going, you're trying to cover all the action. I get it. Obviously, it's superfluous, but I'm not going to criticize it heavily because of the fact that it's just like, yeah, you're trying to make sure that you get everything because it was such a crazy fight. The thing that I would take away as the learning lesson from that is the fight was so intense that your brain naturally defaulted to commenting on the Tom Kench tongue lash at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
If the fight is that intense, the thing to review isn't, oh, I said the tongue lash when it didn't matter. The thing to review is, why was the fight that intense? The answer is because Ruler got caught. So the thing that you actually should investigate is,
Why was
what
that
was I
another
talking
focus?
about
Yeah.
when that happened, which is what we already talked about.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On this Senna, and just trying to scale your way up to being a menace.
The wave in a really awkward spot up top as well. I'm pretty sure Jaculov and Mako can just hold that there pretty much forever. There was a huge amount of minions. Yeah, there you go. They can clear out the cannon, clear out a couple of those melees. They can just freeze this if they really want to. We can see Ruler has moved down to that bottom side once again. He prefers the matchup into 369, it turns out.
Well, it's also Dragon coming up, and one thing JDG have been doing really well so far in this first 6 minutes, right, is like, hey, again, they kind of got the better end of the lane swap.
I'm just
going
gonna
to
refresh my page. The video quality won't
really
change.
strong, so just constantly
It's still
rotating
normal
to
for
wherever
me.
the objective.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Should
hoping
hopefully just catch
to
up
get
to
a
where
bit
you're
more
at.
there, but Webb's not getting this first
Yeah,
break.
that's
Yeah.
And yeah,
All right,
things
cool.
going pretty nice so far for JDG, even if TS have managed to keep up in gold.
I feel like this kind of meta really rewards, like, ARAM players, where you're not really playing the matchups that you're so used to playing. You're not playing the matchups that you've practiced all year long. Like, we just had Flandre.
I like
crashing
this
the wave
banter,
in his
like
Rumble.
tying in the
how many
ARAM thing.
times
That's
has
good.
Cream
I
played
like that.
against a Rumble
That's,
in
a good,
the mid lane? It feels
that's
like
just good bullshit.
get to see
Yeah.
a little bit more from the two teams. Is 369 actually going to use it?
I should have
Especially
mentioned
during
the
lane
shy
swap
there.
metas, you have to
Yeah,
be a
up to this
good
top lane.
bullshitter because there's a lot of
Just
bullshit
get
in
as
lane
much
swap.
CS
Yeah.
as physically possible. He's 20 CS down right now in this game, using the goes literally just as a way to get an XP range for that cannon and get as much of this CS as possible.
Yeah, he gonna be a bit less safe in lane if they commit resources to trying to just run him down, but I think TS know they aren't going to be opting into any straight-up team fights for a while, so at least won't need that in that regard, and now wanting to try to find avenues to just punish Ruler and missing.
Yeah, you gotta get out of there, JDG. This is not a fight that you can win. And now, finally, they get to deny some CS. A little bit of revenge for what's been going on in the early game to their own top laner. Clearing that wave, just letting the wave die in the meantime to that tower as they move over. They'll grab that bit of plate gold. Cream and Jaculov happy to share
Good.
that.
Yep.
Maybe even get
Mixed
a
the
bonus
plate,
as
that's
well.
all that
And luckily
matters
they're
there.
sticking around as well.
Much
No
like-
sense in stopping.
Look at the experience differences. TN 6, Kanavi still only 5. Top esports spot lane 5 and 6 to 5 and 4 of JDGs, and more XP being denied down in that bot side. Small things like this are really making a nice difference for TES.
And one of the big things that we've said about top esports is how
I thought
well
he was
they
gonna
play
keep
the
A little
map.
bit of
Like
a little bit of a
meta.
desync there, yeah.
Yeah.
It really suits them as a team. And even though JDG, it felt like, got the better of the very early lane swap with the dives onto 369, overall, top esports have closed that gap once again.
And look at this. Both of them have their ultimates before even one ult is there for either of JDG's bot laners.
Mako
Really
has
nice
TP.
dive.
369 in trouble, buffers a lot there with the W. The railgun comes through, Mako TPs into the play, denying the dive onto 369 and denying all of this investment from JDG on the top side.
And one ult for 2 when we're about
Okay.
to have
So
second
that
spawn as well.
was, I think you handled that well overall. My biggest point of feedback there would actually be for Lyric. He needed to hand you the ball faster.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like, because there's shit going on, and he was still talking about random stuff. And it's like, no, you have to hand the ball off faster.
Yeah.
So, Lyric, if you're watching this, you probably aren't. But if you're watching this, you should hand off the ball a little bit faster. Just a little bit there. Give him like an extra second. Hell yeah. All right.
If
back
you
in it.
notice
Coming
like
up too.
small things, how you would approach something differently as well, I do want to hear that, because like I feel like I feel like I'm good, you know, like I do feel like I'm international standard caster, but I just don't feel like I'm great, you know. I don't feel like I'm at the top level. So it is going to be this. A lot of it is going to be smaller things as well that can elevate it. So if you do have like nitpicks on plays like that, please don't shy away from picking it apart
Alright,
if you do want to.
Let's go back and watch it again.
It doesn't have to be this play
Once again.
specifically. I'm
And
more
look
just
at
mean
this.
like
both of them have their
in general
ultimates
in the
before
VOD
even
review.
one ult is there for either of JDG's bot laners. Really nice
TP.
dive.
369 in trouble. Buffers a lot there with the W. The railgun comes through. Mako TPs into the play. Denying
There
the dive
wasn't-
369.
Okay,
Denying
if it was
all of
me,
this.
As soon as I see that Talia shit coming in, I am calling out the Weaver's Wall. I am calling out Yagao coming in. I am hyping up how this is an absolute fucking party for JDG in the top lane.
Yeah.
That's where I think your biggest miss was in this. Is that as soon as you saw that line on the ground for Talia, you should be calling out that Talia is coming up here. Because holy shit, we're already seeing 3 guys coming up to make the play. But now we got the 4th dude, and he's riding the wall up here from mid. Like, this is huge. And you end up covering it at the end of the fight. You're talking about, like, yeah, you know, JDG fully invested in this. Like, they punish the overinvestment. But you didn't set that up for the payoff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got the payoff, but you never made the initial investment. So that's what I would have done differently. Is I would have immediately indexed on Weaver's Wall. Ultimate ability name callouts are a huge hype generator. Sorry.
Yeah.
Getting dehydrated again. Got off more water. Oh, God damn it, I'm out of water. Anyway,
Also
ultimate
mine.
ability name callouts are they're a huge hype generator. Being able to call out when a player decides to use like the iconic ability of their champion is massive. And so immediately getting to use that call out before the fight even starts, because it's Talia, right? She has that extra the Talia loves play-by-play casters. Because Talia's ulti always happens before the rest of the crap happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So being able to call out, yeah, Gao with the Weaver's Wall coming up into the top lane, looking for the 4-man angle, like you can immediately set that up to crescendo even higher.
Yeah, it's a good way of thinking about it. It's kind of like it's like the team fight version of Rek'Sai's farm alarm, you know? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a big siren saying shit's about to go
Talia
down.
is the absolute value of Kindred. I hate Kindred more than Sin because Lamb's Respite is the worst ability in the game to have to cast because it makes everything happen all at the exact same split second as soon as it expires.
Yeah.
Talia gives you this whole huge, like, you get to do the Star Wars introduction with the text scrolling along the screen of her entering into the fight using her most impactful ability, right?
Yeah.
So
In a top lane far away.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of value there. And so that's what I would have done differently. Is as soon as I see Talia's ultimate, I am calling it out and I am setting that stage.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm like leaning too far into like color conversation when I need to be doing a bit more just like things are happening, shout at the screen play by play.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. That's honestly, I think that's stylistic, right? Like some play-by-plays lean more into the color conversations, and some lean more into just the me look at color, like
Yeah.
shit, right? Like I'm the second group. I'm not saying that as an insult to anybody watching this right now. I'm definitely in that second group. But like, you know, you think about like Freak, I think is a great example. Freak was the closest thing ever to a hybrid commentator because Freak literally was a hybrid commentator back before the roles were defined in early League of Legends in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Like he was like he commented on that stuff all the time. And you can totally do that. But the important thing is you have to remember you are still by definition the play-by-play. Your job is still the hype man. And I think you could have delivered more hype
Yeah.
by talking about Talia's ultimate as the introduction for that fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think also
All right,
I kind of
let me
missed
go,
it.
Let me go get more water. I'll be right back.
Sure. Well, I'll just say this to chat. I also think I missed an opportunity here. If you listen to what I'm talking about in the context of the previous conversation me and Lyric just had, I don't know how far back I have to go.
Overall, like, top esports have closed that gap. The lane swap meta, it really is key.
Okay, well, I can't find it, but we literally just talked to, or Lyric just talked about how Mako's a level ahead, or Mako was 2 levels ahead, I think, and Tien was a level ahead. He was talking about experience leads across the board for top esports. And then the fight is saved by Mako TPing in off of tempo and Jackie-Love ulting. Like, the fact that Mako is TPing here as a Tom Kench means that the dive is totally impossible. They cannot kill 369 because the second Mako finishes TP, he can eat 369, worst case scenario. So instantly the dive is called off by JDG. Like, that is an opportunity for me to instantly cash in on what Lyric was just talking about, in that Mako has an XP advantage on missing, who is right here and level 5. So
what did I miss? I know you're talking to your chat right now. What did I miss?
Yeah, I was kind of just talking to both chats about how, like, Lyric literally just laid out that Mako has an XP advantage, is level 6 first, and then he TPs into this play. The reason JDG pull back is not because they can't kill 369, it's because the second Mako finishes this TP, he's going to eat 369. So then they can't kill him. They can only not kill him because of the XP advantage that Mako has. So there's like an instant cash-in available there on what Lyric was just talking about, if I spotted it at the time, which I didn't.
So I'm also going to point this out. You don't have to cash in on color commentator points in the middle of the action. I think that you will find that to be more destructive than helpful because of the fact that you're in the moment and your job in the moment is to cover what is happening on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do believe that one of the most important things you can do as a play-by-play is reference the things that the color caster said and harken back to them and make it seem like a fucking Quentin Tarantino film, right? Like, it's like, oh my God, they mentioned this random thing about Uma Thurman's foot in 5 minutes into the show, and now at the very end of this movie, 3 hours later, it's full circle, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I always give people who are starting off in commentary, and that I tell literally everyone, no matter what, is in Champ Select, when you're in that last 60 seconds of countdown, after you have the full team comps for both sides, and you're just kind of talking about what you expect of the game, those last 60 seconds, remember everything that your co-caster says.
That's foreshadowing right there.
Right, because he's going to be talking about, oh, this is the scaling comp, this is the early comp, this is the hyper carry comp, this is the dive comp. Or like, what everything he says is going to be about win cons, it's going to be about game flow, it's going to be about game state. And so throughout the entire game, you can always go back and reference that last 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong, right? Like I've done these before. Like there's been casts that I've done with like a Zale or Kobe, and they'll be like, oh yeah, Flowers, TSM's playing for the early game right here, and Cloud9, they're just trying to weather the storm. And so like, we come back and it's 15 minutes into the game. Even if the score is 0-0, I can still come back and be like, okay, we're done with laning phase. You said TSM's playing for late and Cloud9, or TSM's playing for the early game and Cloud9's weathering for the late game. Is this good enough? Did TSM have a good enough early game? We're 0-0 right now. Like, good or bad, you can always embrace those things. But don't worry about doing it in the middle of a fight.
Yeah,
in the middle of a
fair
fight,
enough.
in the middle of a chaotic situation like this, you don't have to worry about it. But making the mental note and being like, yo, that EXP thing is huge. That's an awesome follow-up point. Because that also then generates a follow-up conversation that is going to fill the empty gap way better than whatever other conversation you would have.
I agree. I think also it's there was a lot happening very short. I'm not sure how much time I would have to talk about XP and also actually play-by-play this fight simultaneously.
Exactly. And that's why
Yeah.
I say, do not worry about doing it in this moment. Do
Yeah,
not worry
yeah.
about doing it in the action. But afterwards, it's a great conversation to have.
Yeah, I
All
agree.
right.
Yeah.
Let's resume.
9 in trouble. Buffers a lot there with the W. The railgun comes through. Mako TPs into the play, denying the dive onto 369 and denying all of this investment from JDG on the top side.
And 1 ult for 2 when we're about to have the second spawn of Grubs coming up too, getting plates, admit a lot of good things going over to TS, but Yagao, all right. Looks like he was thinking about it with the fact that Kanavi was making his way over, but that would have been really greedy pathing with how far behind Kanavi was if they committed, so I like they decide not to pull the trigger in the end. And with no Equalizer, with no Weaver's Wall, it seems like JG are like, hey, it's fine. They can have their 3 Grubs. Let's focus on clearing these camps, which is the right decision.
And the fact that you moved everyone up to this top side to answer that dive means that now the Grubs get to be sort of the reward for that rotation on the side of top esports. So 3 for 3 on the Grubs. 15k on either side. The only differentiation right now is where that gold is within the rosters and that first Drake that was picked up by JDG.
Differentiation is not a word, by the way, guys at home.
You know, pulling out the center and
I know I'm English and I sound clever.
Still
That's
like
not a real word.
I still like it. Like, everybody still gets your meaning. But what I would have liked from you in that situation, because you... So my only problem with what you just said is not the fact that differentiation is not a word. My problem is that you brought it up and you didn't tell me what it was.
Huh?
You said the only differentiation is where the gold is allocated.
And that one Drake, yeah.
But you didn't mention, like, who's the leader for each side. That's what I would have wanted. Because especially
yeah, I suppose,
yeah, because I would have wanted you to set up like a carry versus carry, like where's the gold at?
Yeah.
Because Rumble's ahead, Casante's 0 and 2. Right? Down in bot lane, Tom Kench and Senna are looking great. Is this a top half versus bot half type of game? Is like, I would have wanted some more detail there. Because you set up sort of like this, you gave me the Star Wars intro, but then I didn't get to watch the movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to go over crazy on it, right? Like, I don't want you doing a 60-second monologue. But just like giving me the little bit of, you know, it's the bot side of top esports versus the top side of JDG right now in the early game. Both of them set up for success. Like that kind of a thing. It's 5 seconds, right? But that tells me a more complete story about how things are going.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get what you're saying. The problem is, I don't actually think anyone on top esports is really ahead. Like, the goal that they have is very much like team goal, because it's the fact that you got a center, right? So, like, Tom Kench has all of their CS. So, technically, bot lane, I don't really know if they're ahead or not. We don't have a fucking goal counter on this overlay, so it's hard to say, but it's probably about even, right, with the 2 kills that Kalista has. So the only, like, noticeable advantage, because there's a CS difference in the jungle, but obviously a kill for TN, so that's probably about even. Like, top lane's really the only difference, noticeably on the scoreboard, at least. The only point I was trying to bring out was, like, they both got grubs, same gold, same amount of kills. It's only the, like, on the top of the scoreboard, it's literally the Drake separating them right now, was the point I was trying to make.
Okay, so in that case, I wouldn't have even brought up where the gold is allocated as a quote. Yeah. If that's where you are at with your perception of the game, I wouldn't even bring up the where the gold is allocated thing then.
Yeah.
Because if you say where the gold is allocated, I want to hear you make a mention of where that gold is for both sides. If you cannot mention it, don't say it.
Yeah, it's a good point, honestly. I feel like I habitually just talk about things and then figure out what I'm going to say after I've started talking about them a little bit. I think this is a good example of that, where I'm just saying a sentence because I'm talking as opposed to actually thinking about what I'm trying
I'm
to
just
say.
speaking because I'm speaking. Yeah,
It's my job
exactly,
to
right?
talk, so I'm just talking, right? Like I just add a sentence because I'm talking.
All right. Let's get back
Potentially
into
be
it
the
here.
last game of the series. Letting BLG know, hey, there's still some threat here. You still have to respect Arsena. We haven't really been playing it that much because again, it's been banned quite a bit, but always there in the back pocket. How well they've played so far. Kind of sucks. Ruler missing. We're able to
Kinda
get off to such a
sucks.
good start, but haven't been able to find the impact since now. I mean,
I fucking love
technically
Lyric,
losing
dude.
out in
Yeah.
CS to Senna and Tom Kanich is a Callista Ash. Not a good place to be in.
I think he's one of the most honest color casters in the game.
Behind enemy lines, it's Cream that wants to dive from the top side. Uses that Scry's Bloom to clear the ward and instantly answered the TP from Yagao. In the meantime, though, 369 has found Flandre and delivers him on a silver platter over to Tien. Finds the W. Can they finish the kill? That Flandre now having flash on cooldown will be slowed, will be knocked back. No.
Okay, so for that
Three
one,
quite-
again, I think you were a little bit slow on your intro. And also, Cassante has one of the best ultimate names in the game. All Out is such a cool fucking name. You should always be taking advantage of saying it, I think. Like, ability names enhance the experience a lot of times because they are unique. They create an identity with a character versus just like saying that he goes in or he engages or something else. Like, I would have absolutely done the ability name call out for that one, for 369 going in, and I think it was a little bit slow. So let's go back and watch it again. All right.
Instantly answered the TP from Yagao. In the meantime, though, 369 has found Flandre and delivers him on a silver.
So your energy crescendos after the all out is already cast.
Yeah. I think part of that is the delay again. I think that energy peak is as he's ulting, but I do get what you mean. Like, but yeah, the play's definitely taking me by surprise. Like, no two ways about it.
Yeah, and that's totally fair, right? You don't always just expect to randomly see two guys at full health and the one guy just ults the other guy. Like, it's kind of turbo random, but it does happen. But I think that the even with the delay, the min max there is to lean into the ability names, especially for turbo popular champions like Cassante.
Yeah.
You should obviously know all of the ability names, and I'm not flaming you saying like, oh man, I don't think you even know an old name or something like that. But I'm saying you should definitely use it there.
Yeah.
All right.
Over platter over to Tien. Finds the W. Can they finish the kill? That Flandre now having flash on cooldown will be slowed, will be knocked back. No. Q3 couldn't quite come on through, didn't manage to stack it in time. Flandre gets away. Looks like everyone got away on the top side as well.
Okay, a bit of a trade in mid. Cream looks like he's winning out on it.
Oh, Flandre stuck around the flash forwards and the finish off from 369. The equalizer, not enough.
No, so nice. They stay persistent.
I think you could have gone one higher on that.
Anything anywhere else?
Just like a little bit of a
Cream was potential on the winning end.
boom, and TN gets it. Like that's how I would have done it. I would have given a little bit of extra boom to the fact that they got the kill because we just spent 20 seconds previously covering the fact that they tried to kill him. All right, god damn it! I was talking. Now I gotta rewind because I literally interrupted myself during my own VOD.
That's okay.
God bless America. All right. So yeah. Anyway, I would have probably. I definitely don't think you should have been insanely excited over the bot lane kill because your energy was generally in the right place. I think it just could have been one higher. Like you were at like a 3, and I think you could have been at a 4, and I think it would have fit better for that bottom lane. Just because we spent the previous 20 seconds watching it.
Yeah, we built it up, and then that's the payoff, and I didn't.
Exactly. That's our payoff moment. That's what I would have done differently. All right. So let's go back to this this one that I fucked up.
Arrow in the mid lane, it hits onto Cream, the flick back is there, Kanavi's moving in as well, but the railgun keeps Cream alive for a second, and he flashes forwards for the kill. What a play from Cream to go 1-for-1.
Cream finds the 1-for-1. Jackie Love made it possible, though.
This is gonna be so nitpicky. I feel bad even saying this, but unfortunately, this is the way that it has to be. 4 is not the right word to use there because you say what a play from Cream to go to go 1-for-1, like, because it sounds like Cream's getting a consolation. And yes, technically he was, but I would hype up Cream instead.
Yeah,
I would say like Cream goes in and makes it a 1-for-1. Like really just I'd be more celebratory of the fact that he got one back instead of sort of acknowledging the matter of fact, which is it's a 1-for-1. Especially in a game like this, especially in an elimination game for their opponents, especially when top esports is trying to qualify for MSI. Like
yeah.
I would hype up Cream more. Is the difference that I would make in there. The way that you did it isn't wrong and it's not bad, and I don't want that to be the takeaway that you have.
No, I
But
agree
I
though.
think that I don't think it was min-maxed.
And I think, like, looking back on it, like, if I was casting it now with the knowledge I have, like, the fact that we watched the fucking arrow fly up mid, hit onto Cream to set up a fucking Talia, who is the best champion in the game if they've got a bit of setup, and then Kanavi ganks as well, and Cream still gets a fucking kill. In hindsight, I'm not even sure I should be talking about it being a 1-for-1. I should just be talking about the fact that Cream somehow just fucking killed Yagao. Like, how
Cream
the fuck did Cream just kill
found a
Yagao?
kill in, like, he was lost in the darkness. He reached his hand into the void and he pulled out a kill.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this man just made magic happen. And that's what I would have been focusing on in that moment.
I mean, if like that is the line, this man just made magic happen, is a much better than Cream managed to get a 1-for-1. You know, like I feel like that is an opportunity to really fucking celebrate Cream, especially like after he's had a really good split on top esports. Like he's making a name for himself now. He gets a moment like that in his match to qualify for MSI. I need to be fucking hyping the shit out of that.
It's a really big deal, and especially in games like this, right? Like, if this was a regular season game, I actually think your call was exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that this is what it is, this is your MSI qualifier series, it should be more celebratory of Cream.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's get back to it.
Can survive that initial burst for them to be able to follow up on the play, but still, it does lean Kanavi into getting one himself. But I feel like as TS, when you were on the receiving end of JDG's play, you're very happy about that. And look at the minimap. Looks like Tien even already starting off this drag with Kanavi going back to finish off his Kraken Slayer.
What a performance so far. What a game here in game number 4. This is exciting. This is the first time this series where it feels like we're really going towards that mid-game. And even Stevens on the scoreboard. Ever so slight goal lead for top esports, but not that much to talk about. Cream having a huge play there in the mid lane. And remember, he's never made
I like
it to
the
an
fact that you
international
bring it up
tournament
later.
before. If he can just win one more game in this series, he will make it to MSI. And it's not just Cream either. It's top esports as an organization. They never made it to MSI before. They've never managed.
Very good history. Very good history. I like that a lot. Good job.
And you know, we've only recently had.
You are setting the
Cream is
stakes.
caught by yet another arrow. That cooldown is so short. This time, can he get away?
1 second.
No, he cannot.
I gotta go back a little bit. But I really like the fact that you were taking the opportunity during the downtime to set the stage for why they are playing this game. Like, why does this matter so much? Why are we excited for top esports? That was really good. Really good. Big fan of that. All right. So, oh, God damn it. I didn't press button.
Managed to top out the spring split. And, you know, we've only recently had multiple seeds. Cream is caught by yet another arrow. That cooldown is so short. This time, can he get away? No, he cannot.
I
Ruler
think
grabs the kill for himself. And now JDG won a little bit
you
more.
should have
Call
interrupted
to follow
yourself
up on
earlier.
the engaged
on
team.
the arrow.
Knocked into the air as
Because you were like, we saw the arrow. You had like a like 3/4 of a second of just like watching the arrow fly, right? But not until it hit the character did you interrupt it. And I feel like the arrow being fired there should have been an indicator that they were going for something. So again, this isn't egregious, it's more nitpicky. But you should have stopped the narrative discussion and gone into play-by-play mode just like a fraction of a second sooner, and it would have sounded more natural.
I think this goes back to what we were talking about with the Weaver's Wall as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ash Arrow comes out, shut the fuck up, talk about the fight. Weaver's Wall comes out, shut the fuck up, talk about the fight. Like,
ultimates are such a big thing, right? Ultimates, summoner spells, not like smite or something stupid and useless like that, but like big summoner spells, ultimates, those sorts of things show you that a team is committing to a play. And so those are the things that I want to see change the conversation, because those are the things that also change the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have gone into play-by-play mode faster in that situation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Threatening the backside, but he's threatened himself. He goes down, and it's Mako to grab the kill as he dives under for more. Jackie Love chasing, root lands onto Yagao, but they don't have the damage to finish it off. Mako trying to escape, but he's flicked back, gets the shield before he goes down. Jackie Love has a bit of sustain for his supporters missing. Gonna be rooted up. Ruler getting onto the front line as TN goes back in once more. How are they still going in this one? Yagao falls as Jackie Love just has so much range. Missing, goes down. The heal at the last second is Jackie Love's dream.
So your energy was beautiful at the very end there. I think you should have hit that energy slightly faster.
Yeah.
Also, Tom Kench didn't die. I think that you were talking about like, oh, he's going to do this before he goes down. He doesn't actually go down. He doesn't die.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back and do it again.
I agree that I think it's fine at the end, but in the middle I get behind the play. Like, even with the delay, I think I'm still behind the play on my casting here. And I feel like I'm trying to catch up during a lot of this instead of like just fucking
covering it as I need
to just be like fucking, I don't know, celebrating the fucking carnage instead of worrying about trying to say every ability.
Right, yeah. All right, so let's watch it again.
JDG want a little bit more face call to follow up on the engage. TN knocked into the air is missing. Has gone too deep on this one. Kanavi threatening the backside, but he's threatened himself. He goes down, and it's Mako to grab the kill as he dives under for more. Jackie Love chasing, root lands onto Yagao, but they don't have the damage to finish it off. Mako trying to escape, but he's flicked back, gets the shield before he goes down. Jackie Love has a bit of sustain for his supporters missing. Gonna be rooted up.
Okay, so right there, I definitely would have, my focus would have been on Tom Kench surviving, because you're talking about he's trying to get out before the flick kills him. I would have been focusing more on like the activation of the thick skin and the fact that he pops his shield to be able to survive that, because that's like, obviously we have perfect hindsight because we're watching it as a VOD now, but that ends up making the difference. And it's huge. Right? And that ends up turning this from a JDG play into a top esports play because of how thick that Kench is.
Mako's fucking MVP in this game, actually, by the way.
Yeah,
like, every single play Mako's been fucking
this
hard.
This Tom Kench is down with the thickness. We need to be celebrating how thick this Kench is.
He's a girthy boy, I'll say that for sure.
My man's got girth. Like, that's what it's all about in this fight, was Tom Kench being the MVP. All right.
Once more, how are they still going in this one? Yagao falls as Jackie Love just has so much range. Missing, goes down. The heal at the last second is Jackie Love's dream.
The energy at the end was so good. I have because obviously, I'm being critical. I'm going to point out the things that I think could be improved. But your energy at the end was awesome.
At the very end
like,
of the skirmish.
That's what I want to hear. The excitement, like the celebration, that was great.
Like, my God, TS really have played around this early
Thanks,
game
man.
immaculately from JDG being the one to come in and try to set the pace with this composition. It just hasn't been able to work.
And after that last game as well, where Jackie Love was 0-2-0, while the rest of the team was winning the game, it's him that grabs the triple kill. 4-0-2 on the center, a pick that this team hasn't been relying on. He shows up once more and reminds the world
Great
that
context
have
of
to
team.
fear this pick.
Yeah, you do. You just have to put respect on Jackie Love's name overall, having a really good game. so far in the set. And with this Herald up, I mean, look, they're doing it by the book, pushing in mid wave. They've already got some shallow vision in river and towards the enemy jungle. It's just going to set up for this to be able to come through. I'm kind of surprised that we aren't seeing JDG maybe lean a bit heavier into this, especially with the fact that we just saw Flandre use that equalizer, but it seems like just valuing getting a reset down so he can't be punished after the play comes through. And here, I like the idea of the initial pick, right? JDG's comp is essentially a pick comp. This is where it gets kind of awkward, though, because they're trying to run them down and look for the engage, but they don't really have, like, a great front line, like a great body to just throw in front of it all. As he, for some reason, just skipped into the second part of this fight, but JackeyLove here hits the binding.
He's
able to just
play
the
replay.
tether off the edge of his range perfectly, while Tien and Mako buy space. And then it's here where
I love
that
watching
he's
the
like,
fucking
hey,
center pro view. It's literally JackeyLove just like right clicking, like literally no
Yeah.
abilities, just right
Yeah,
clicking.
it's just like, all right, I'm kiting.
Yeah.
Mako saves his AD carry, kicks JackeyLove out to safety, and realistically, they cannot follow up onto Mako. My goodness, Top Esports are here to play, but it's still just 100 gold between the two teams. This is easily the closest game of the series so far today. And I'm so glad that we get a game like this today. I was worried that JDG would just fall out of the series, but no, fighting tooth and nail on both sides. And we'll see what on earth happens now in the mid-game. Next Drake not up for another 90 seconds.
And for JDG, it becomes really clear, right? You're playing around, especially your Enchanted Crystal Arrow right now, trying to set up a pick, burst someone out immediately, and then being able to turn that into an advantageous position where things like the Weaver's Wall and Equalizer can really threaten TS too much where they have to back off an objective or win the fight. TS, though, it's going to be a lot more just about the straight up front to back, right? You have enough frontliners to where you can buy enough time and potentially take out people like Kanavi on the Viego with JackeyLove and Cream before the rest of JDG are taking down 369 or Tien. So, yeah, I think two very different games that these teams are going to be looking to play going forward.
Does feel that way, doesn't it? Top Esports, like you say, sort of protecting JackeyLove to some extent, trying to keep him safe as Tien moves up towards that top side with the Warden Tribrush. Inslandre had information there, spots Tien again as he walks away from the play.
Everything's chill here.
Nothing coming from that one. Drake up in 20 seconds. Tien up on that top side of the map. He's going to make a beeline down to contest in this mid lane as fast as possible.
So just dropping the Herald for now. We're going to see, it's interesting, right? He's moving up towards topside despite Dragon coming up on the Rift right now.
The wall just a little bit shy, so it doesn't stop the Herald's charge. We saw Yagao doing that, I think it was game 1.
Yeah, for context, in this series, Yagao Weaver's walled a Herald as it was going to charge, and it knocked it up and cancelled the charge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's a great callback then. If that was earlier on in the same series, it's a great
it was like
callback
game
to
1 or 2 or
reference, like,
something.
hey, he was trying to repeat it.
Arrow, but it's only onto the Tom Kench.
Cream goes wide of the charm as well. Mako tanky flashes out to safety. Kanavi is so low already. And Tien knocks him up, will finish the job. The spear goes deep into the hearts of JDG as 369 finds his way onto the backside as well. Dashes out to safety. Mako saves his top.
You were too into the
Xin Zhao thing,
romantic
yeah.
language of the Xin Zhao thing versus actually covering the fight on that one. Let's go back and watch it.
Yeah, I think I kind of thought it was over before it was actually over.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it ends up being like a whole full deal. So, like, you know, we go in here.
Tanky flashes out to safety. Kanavi is so low already. And Tien knocks him up, will finish the job. The spear goes deep into the hearts of JDG as 369.
The spear going deep into the hearts of JDG, that's already old news. Because Cassante is killing Ashe while you're saying that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yo, dude, he's all out.
Yeah.
Like, this is big. We have really big shit happening in front of us right now. So, yeah, definitely got a little bit caught up in that one.
Finds his way onto the backside as well. Dashes out to safety. Mako saves his top laner. And Top Esports practically wiping JDG. Only 2 remain.
And I thought it looked so good for JDG to start
Yeah,
off,
that's
just
the
because
biggest
of
point of
Flandre's
feedback for
equalizer.
that one
It was zoning off 3
don't get
members
so
of
caught up
TS.
in
What was
the
it, TN and 369
celebration
in
of
the
a single
backline
kill that
just
you miss it
doing
out for the fight.
work. And now gonna lead to another fight win for Top Esports.
Yeah, I think I maybe just expected them to back off. I'm not really sure. In hindsight, I don't know why the fuck I Didn't
It's
expect more of a
heartbreaking to
fight
see
there,
how
but
one-sided jungle matchup has been as well, with Kanavi
Yeah.
falling so far behind. This was a con cell for him to get the resets, but he's the one going down first.
And again, look at like 3 members kind of sectioned off. I guess Jacqueline able to get involved now, but Tien and 369 just able to run forward and really prevent any action from being able to come out on JDG's side. And again, when your JDG
rumble noise
you're
is
running
so funny,
inside
man.
your champs that
Chinese
really
client,
well,
man.
in retrospect to other champions with 1 and 2 items and you're not winning.
That's just
So
funny.
Reactions.
great spear rush from Cream.
First time this game he's actually dodged one of those arrows. Is about the 9th arrow that's been thrown at him. I can't believe quite how often these arrows are coming out missing. Very proactive on the pick. But it's not really
It's so
led
goofy.
to that much. Like, a couple of the arrows hitting Mako, which doesn't really work out. Yes, they got the 1 pick on Cream, but earlier on, the first arrow that hit Cream, it turned into a kill for Cream. The second one, yes, was a pick, but then that turned into Jackulov getting a triple kill. It feels like even though these arrows are hitting, even though he's being proactive, it's never turning into anything for JDG.
No, and it's like they almost don't have enough pieces
So,
in play for them to
I
ever
think
really
right
be able to
there,
convert
I
into a kill.
like what you're bringing up. I like the fact that you're mentioning that the arrows, they might be hitting, but they're not accomplishing what they want to accomplish. I think the min-max on this is you parlay that into asking Lyric, what is the win con? Because obviously, like you're leaving the table open. You're not committing any sort of sin here. You're not making a mistake in terms of just like doing something objectively wrong. But
Yeah.
you could be doing something better and sharper by invoking his knowledge to say, so how do they win? They're a pick comp. You guys have already talked about the fact that they're a pick comp. They're a pick comp, and the picks aren't working. So what do we need to see here from JDG to stay alive and take it to a 5th and final game? I think that would have made this stronger, right? Because we always, like, as commentators, you always want to set up the guy next to you. And I'm not saying this as much to you as I am to, like, the people watching in our 2 chats. As a commentator, you always want to set up the guy next to you for success, right? So since Lyric is obviously going to be looking at the compositions and looking at win conditions, we want to enable him to be able to say those. And I think that this was a prime moment that you could have asked him a direct face-to-face question and just been like, hey, this isn't working. What do they need to do?
Yeah, I
And I
agree. I
think
think
that
it's a
would've
good
made a
break
stronger
point to
case.
do that as well. Like, it's 20 minutes in
Yeah.
the game. Nothing's happening on the screen right now.
Yeah,
It's a good moment
that's one
to
of
reconsider win cons.
That's one of the biggest things that I always try to do, like, because, I've been casting with Azale and Kobe for fucking, 8 years now or something stupid. It's ridiculous. But that's always something that I try to do, is go back and set them up and just be like, okay, Kobe, you were saying that in this game, Dignitas needs to get picks. Well, they've been getting picks and they don't work. So what's the sauce for Dignitas now? Like, if picks aren't working for the pick comp, then how are we going to win?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's one of those things that I think is just, again, it's not a mistake, but it's a min-max.
Yeah, I agree.
You can also see things like right now where most of top esports having those flashes up means it would be really hard to follow up on a play without burning some of those summoners first. And honestly, top esports has done a great job of like covering wherever JDG are going to go. They've read their pressure really well. Even that play in top side that we just saw, right? Jackulov was already pathing towards top with Tien in tow. And yeah, just these plays really aren't there. TS doing such a great job in this series overall at being able to counteract JD Gaming.
The Spirit Rush came out from Cream there, forces out Yagao's own ultimate. Just sheer
Oh, okay,
respect
good.
through his team.
Good job calling out both
Forced the flash
ultis.
as well.
I was about to say, that's
Get
very
that ward,
important.
but will not be able to find it. Missing now, getting a little bit of damage down, but the Honey Fruit pretty much answers it, and missing suddenly is the target. Instead, Equalizer comes on through though. Jackulov getting absolutely chunked, and Mako has to eat him up early on in the play. 369 though, soaks the arrow, gets his team out of dodge.
Again, really nice equalizer placement coming from Vlandre.
I think
it's kind of a nice change of pace when it feels like
one of the things that I would have mentioned there, so like if we look at the ultimate indicators, Flandre ulti down, Yagao ulti down, Ruler ulti down, Missing ulti down, like Cream ulti down, Mako ulti down, that was actually a massive amount of resources spent on a giant boner flop. Like, nobody did anything.
Yeah.
But they all spent resources to make sure the other side couldn't do it. I think that's the min-max I would have made there, is talking about how much just got used for no kills. That's what I would have changed there, is I would have made a point to mention what so much spent from both sides. Rumble ulti, Talia ulti, Kalista ulti, Ashe ulti, all used from JDG, top esports, even committing the Spirit Rush we saw from Cream, Mako using the Devour. Nobody is dead despite 7 ultimates being cast, right? Like, really, because also we're working towards, if we look at the point of the game that we're at, it is 21 minutes into the game. That's massive. If 7 ults get spent for no kills, this actually changes how the next couple of minutes get played. So that's the min-max I would have made.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Huge investment. And as well, actually, I just talked about missing ults not getting value.
Yep.
That's another Ashe Arrow play that didn't get value.
Yeah, this guy has no ult, no barrier now. There's no kill. That's a problem.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a lot of supports we've been seeing play Rumble a little bit too fast with the equalizer timings. But sadly, this is what we set up for in draft that TS have to do, right? If you can kite out the initial engage, the initial burst from JDG, that's where most of the punch with this composition's at. So they do manage to get out of there. Had there been an angle to re-engage, I think TS would have done great in a follow-up fight, but they decide, hey, we live to fight another day. We got our Horizon focus on Cream, so he's at 2 items. Jackal effectively on 3, with the fact of, having the Blood Song too. Now Edge of Night, an opportunity there in pocket, so really making nice pace with the item advantages that they have over their opposing laners.
And the important thing about that Blood Song as well is it's, hang on a second, Kanavi, you're going real deep there. Railgun comes through and Cream.
Yeah, you can see how bad the delay is.
Was that a broadcast lag thing, right?
Yeah, it's either there's a big delay or my brain doesn't fucking work.
To think about and worry about Jackie Love's on top of it, just making it that much harder to find these picks you're looking for. So another kill over to TS, 12-5. Again, this team really wanting to make their way to finals.
It's so frustrating.
Not only Cream's first MSI or international, right? It will be Cream's first LPL finals, which will be tremendous. You look at
tech difficulties are always the worst because they make your shit feel less than it should be, but it's nothing that you can change, right? And so that's why I'm trying to make sure that I'm not just going in on the technical stuff, because like that last one obviously was late, but if you're on a 1 second delay, that was a 0.75 second play. So one is more than 0.75. Sucks, but it's what it is.
It's doomed.
Across the board at these other guys, definitely not a first.
It's almost as doomed for me in that play as this game is for JDG.
That you could see
bro, they're so cooked.
Yeah, we're gonna get to see this again.
They're so cooked.
Like you, I don't really know.
Okay, he was trying to get out of there, but then he did just kind of start the fight instead of running away. Could have moved over towards Rumble.
Maybe just thinking he has the timing, and Flandre being not too far behind, they could be able to find the 2v1, but they should know someone's pathing down to catch that wave that he's pushing in. And ends up just going down for it.
Think
really
you guys should have, like, not in the realm of like Flame. I think you guys should have been more hostile towards Kanavi in that play. I think you guys should have been more judgmental about that play.
Yeah.
Because that play was fucking bad.
It's also the second big flub from Kanavi this game, because he was the fail flash earlier.
Right, yeah. Like, this is a go to MSI or sit on the couch series for JDG, and Kanavi is doing 2 o'clock in the morning solo queue shit. like, why are you doing this, bro? Like, again, I'm never going to suggest that someone should be like, wow, Kanavi is dog piss or something like that. But just be like, man, Kanavi is not making the right decisions. Like, really just hammering home the fact that, hey, man, you better wise up.
Yeah.
It's 11:59 on the clock right now. Like, You gotta play better than this.
Yeah.
This is not it, right? I think that you can lean more into being critical of the play. The way that I always express it is criticize the play, not the player. Right? That's one of the things that comes up in conversations a lot. There was the infamous play that came up back in a couple of years ago during Freaks last year, where Freak was like, "Fudge, you idiot! Like, look at the summoner spells or something," right? And I've literally publicly said before, I don't think that that was the right call because I don't think that you should talk shit on the player. You can absolutely say, "Man, that was a terrible decision from Fudge." Criticize decisions, criticize plays, criticize choices, but don't imply that the player themselves is like bad or stupid or whatever. But looking at that play and just going like, man, Kanavi made a bad choice there and he's going to pay for it. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I would have leaned into like, man, he made a bad choice or a bad play or a bad decision, whatever. But absolutely criticizing that choice, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, I agree.
I
do think we need to be more heavy-handed than we were, though, rather than because we basically just went, Kanavi, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, to qualify for MSI.
It's like, bro, this is not an Kanavi moment. You are going to stay home when you could be going to MSI because of this play.
MSI like, in China as well. Like,
right. This is your home turf, man. Like,
yeah. I guess technically not for East Korean, right? But yeah,
right,
like, but even still, like, you play for Chinese teams. Your whole career has been in China.
Yeah. You're playing on a Chinese team. Like, it's MSI in China. You want to go to this event.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
difference in the jungle in this series. Hell, it happened in the last series too. It's really great to see Tien when he's on form.
Oh, Yagao gonna be caught out. Flashes away. The charm not used though. Cream holds it until the flash is gone. Even saves the spirit rush so he doesn't get stunned. Beautiful from Tien and Cream. Kanavi and Missing want to punish the pick. A TP though means they can't do squat. And Cream finds yet another. He's getting close to 10 stacks.
I'm just going to be honest. I feel like the energy was just off on this one. I feel like your focus was on the wrong stuff. So, like, hold on, let's go back.
So he doesn't get stunned. Beautiful.
Oh, sorry, didn't go back far enough. 28.
And ends up just going down for it. Really has just been a stark difference in the jungle in this series. Hell, it happened in the last series too. It's really great to see Tien when he's on form.
Oh, Yagao gonna be caught out. Flashes away. The charm not used though. Cream holds it until the flash is gone. Even saves the spirit rush so he doesn't get stunned. Beautiful from Tien and Cream. Kanavi and Missing want to punish the pick. A TP though means they can't do squat. And Cream finds yet.
Like, the TP doesn't even matter. It's the fact that JDG is coming for a collapse and they get punched in the mouth. I feel like that should have been your coverage of the fight
Missing
was
just
very matter of fact. The coverage was very matter of fact. You should have been like so much more about celebrating that turn right there at the end, right? It's like, they're coming down. Who cares about the TP? You can mention the TP. Do it as like an sort of like an offhanded thing. Just be like, hold on, TP coming in though from top east. But it doesn't even matter. Right when they tried to make a move, JDG isn't even allowed to breathe on their own side of the map. Like one of those types of moments.
Yeah.
I feel like would have been much more emotionally honest to how the game is flowing.
Yeah, it's like talking about how Top Esports are now, like, because it's been JDG making all of the plays previously as well. This is Top Esports now actually being proactive and essentially setting up to end the game, realistically. Like,
right, yeah.
They are now in control completely and utterly. I feel like it needs... I feel like almost the commentary needs to be more big picture and less
at this point, yes, because the game is 14-5. The closer the game is, the more magnified you need to be
Yeah,
on each
yeah.
individual play. Right? And right now it's looking like top is kind of just going to run away with
Yeah.
it. So
And
you
because
can
this fight is
get more
so
big picture.
one-sided as well.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, let's get
Yeah,
back in there.
yeah, I agree.
Yet another, he's getting close to 10 stacks.
The only tragedy is that these kills are found on the bottom half of the map. Because if not, right, maybe they could have turned this into a Baron bait, try and get a turn, try and get a huge fight. Luckily for them, Dragon coming up in 1 second. So they should be able to convert this at least into an objective. And now being on Soul Point, like, this is huge for TES.
I mean, just look at the scoreboard, man. There is a bounty on every single player for top esports.
That was
Even
a great
Sin has
shout
a
out. I
bounty, for
love
God's
that.
sake. Like,
That sets the
this
stage
is
so well.
brutal. This is absolutely brutal. It looked so even to start off with. It doesn't feel that way anymore. Equalizer does absolutely nothing as Cream is now on a flank as well. Kadavi's already low. Ruler forced away. The Orb of Deception lands on the second dash, and Cream is just styling on JDG. The railgun flies on through. Top esports.
I really liked that fight.
And
That was a
with
really
the
good
threat of that
fight.
engage, Tien was doing Drake.
From
He
you, I
actually
mean.
moved
Like,
up and they were
obviously,
picking up,
I
getting
don't give a
the
shit
kill,
about
more
the actual
kills, so
gameplay
they
and
can
stuff
do
like.
this.
But no, your coverage of that fight, I really liked.
The Baron bait once more. Kanavi is alive, but he has no ult and he has no flash, so it's almost impossible for him to get a steal. 369 takes the blast cone as well to make sure there's no way in, but respecting what JDG are bringing to the table here, they back away from the Baron.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't feel like they necessarily have
Solid.
enough damage to really do it that quickly right now. They were just hoping to get the turn for a fight with only one member of JDG being down. So I think it was, you know, the right idea. Don't overcommit to the Baron, look for the turn. The angle wasn't there as we saw 369 trying to find the flank. This does mean, though, that they've kind of just wasted this last minute. The straight could have already been taken, but hell, it looks like JDG accept and acknowledge that this
Yeah.
is still top esports, Dragon.
I mean, I'm enjoying watching the Cream Ari this game as well. I feel like these scraps have been looking real good for him. He's on 9 stacks on that Dark Seal. We'll see if he commits to the Medjais. This game could qualify him for his first ever finals. It could qualify Top Esports for their first ever MSI.
Again, great narrative points. I love this. Cream first one, Top Esports first one. That's great context. Great context.
Straight up power on the side of Top Esports.
We're going to at least be able to keep tabs of where TES are going right now. And you can see Top Esports really wanting to be able to bait and play around this Baron again, because look at the
I don't
minimap.
really
The
remember
side
how
waves
this
already
ends, so I'm
pushed
kind of
out.
excited
Those
to
are
watch
in
the next
order.
fight.
Someone from JDG would need to go and catch those.
Yeah.
So Top
I
Esports
love
keep playing the
that.
waiting game.
It's like, yeah,
Reaper,
I'm
they should
a
really push
viewer
out
now
mid.
too.
Dude, I
Love
fucking
it.
I fucking love watching the FPL, man, even when I've seen it
Top
before.
Esports is, oh, Arrow! It's going to be the Spirit Rush used, and in fact, they look at flange rate instead. Cream has one more charge, and Kanavi forced to ult out over towards Raptors.
I would have ramped my
Yeah,
energy
yeah.
up higher for that.
Yeah, I needed to
because-
be way more.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I would tell you as a general rule in terms of your energy management and investment is use ultimates and summoner spells as a metric, right?
Mm,
The more ultimates and summoner spells you see, amp your energy up and don't feel guilty about it. Because if you are seeing all of these like high cooldowns invested in something, that means the players are balls out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
as the caster, then you can go balls out, right? Like they are obviously investing into this play. They are saying, this is our shot. This is our call. Let's go. So you do the same thing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's what I-
That's a good I'm gonna write that down as like using them as a metric. I've not really thought about it like that.
They're a great way to measure. All right, let's get back.
Yeah, you can
Missing
play
Zol,
on, yeah.
not that long of a cooldown.
I didn't see what it was that caught Flandre. I guess it would have had to be the root from Jackie Love. Because Cream hadn't thrown his charm out yet. I did like the idea of like, well, once you have to burn the Spirit Rush, just try and commit to find the all-in.
Yeah,
Unable
I
to
don't
do
hate
so.
it. Yeah, I got trying to find a flick back there, but it is just going to be Cream clearing the wave in the end. Another soul for Jackie Love. I've not seen his soul count recently, but I promise you it's looking pretty juicy at this point in the game, I'm guessing. He's probably broached the 100 mark. In fact, yeah, 102. There you go on your screen right there at the bottom left. It's 15 to 5. It's 3,000 gold lead, almost 4. And Top Esports, again, return to controlling the Baron area. It's still 3 minutes until that next Drake comes up. And
Good
for
job.
Top
I was
Esports,
just about to say the dragon.
you know,
We covered
this
that.
is
Nice
such
job.
an important game for them, not just wanting
I love talking about Dragon Timers,
to
mate.
internationals again, but wanting an opportunity to rematch BLG to try and win the LPL once more. They've been such a successful team in terms of being towards the top of the table. They haven't been that successful historically in actually winning the LPL. They want another shot at the title.
Yeah, for TS, right? I mean, hell, post 2020, it was looked at as, you know, it's going to be a few years of TS being there at the top. And again, they kept it close. They were able to get there many times, but like you're saying, not able to
I
convert
like
it.
this conversation. This is good. This is
Right
the
now,
best way to
looking like
cover
they'll be able to head
downtime
back
during
to
these
even
late
that.
game phases.
Sadly, not able to convert the game.
Because there's nothing interesting to
BLG,
talk
they
about in the
wouldn't have
game,
even
right?
been
It's
here.
just guys
They've been
clearing
able to do
waves.
that.
So this is
But now,
this
with
is
a
really
different
good.
look,
Yeah.
keeping 369
The
down
ping
towards
pong
bot,
begins.
TP to join in.
Arrow lands, but it's not really the best target. Flip back onto TN doesn't really matter. I mean, it just feels like it fizzles out, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like there's that much really coming out from JDG. That's them firing almost everything at the enemy. And nothing happened.
No. It's just so awkward, right? Because who really can safely walk up? No one. I mean, even Kanavi being on the Viego, if he goes too far forward and gets caught by something that can just burst him down, Gao!
Oh yeah, Gao's rooted the
Lyric
railgun in.
absolutely
This could be everything.
fucking trolled you. He needed to hand that off so much faster. If I was casting with him, I would absolutely, as soon as we left the casting desk, tell him that he trolled me. Like, that's, and I'm saying that, chat, by the way, Munchables, Lyric, and I, we are all friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I am saying this out of professional, like, courtesy and respect. Lyric trolled that. He absolutely should have handed it off sooner than that. That was, that was troll. He the fight was very clearly starting. He needed to pass that off sooner. So you are not set up for success in this situation because of the fact that he's still going when the fight is already beginning.
Yeah.
So
I do think there's an extent as well that I should, when I see shit going down, I should just fucking interrupt. I think I should just start shouting, you know.
In a situation like, and this is actually like, and I'm fine sharing this because I know that Emily's very open about feedback, and Jat's been around for a long time. There was a TriCast that I did with Jat and Emily. It was the first time that we ever had a Captain Flowers, Jat, and Emily TriCast for playoffs this past split.
Mm-hmm.
And after game number 1, I literally told them, I was like, hey, I think that you guys are offering S++ tier analysis of what's going on in the games, but you're doing it too long. I was like, I was late to 5 or 6 different team fights there because you guys were still doing analysis. So we should absolutely keep up with the same content, but you guys got to hand it to me faster.
Yeah.
And in games 2 and 3, they did. And it was so fucking clean. It felt so good.
Honestly.
And I was like, let's go.
There are very few feelings like when you discuss something about a cast in game number 1 and then game 2, game 3, etc. It feels better. Like that is such a satisfying feeling, that like instant improvement just off of a little bit of discussion. I think like to anyone in the 2 chats that does want to become a caster that's watching this for advice themselves, like, you are only as good as your co-casters. You need to work as a team. You are a team. And like that kind of shit where you can improve during a series genuinely are some of the best feelings I've ever had from casting, is like feeling like you are leveling up as a duo or as a trio. Just feels fucking phenomenal.
It's because you're solving 2 problems at once. Not only are you managing to properly isolate and identify the problem, you are also solving it.
Yeah.
Like, both of those are difficult to do, and being able to accomplish both of them in a finger snap time frame is insane. And it definitely does feel really, really, really fucking good. All right, so let's go ahead. We're near the end of this game, so let's get back into it.
Safely walk up. No one. I mean, even Kanavi being on the Viego, if he goes too far forward and gets caught by something that can just burst him down, Gao!
Oh yeah, Gao's rooted the railgun in, and this could be everything Top Esports have been dreaming of. They're headed towards finals if they can finish this game. 2 picks come on through, and they barrel towards the mid lane. Tier 2 will be taken. Kanavi, Ruler, and Missing. They have to stop this Baron going down.
To see what they're able to do, because DS,
So,
very easy time.
Kind of overcompensating at the end for
so
being late to the play, I think.
This is going to be nitpicky, but this is what we signed up for. You don't need, because the end of the fight talks about you're talking about Baron almost like it's happening, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's the strongest way to handle the fight. So let's go back and do it again.
Just burst him down, Gao!
Oh yeah, Gao's rooted the railgun in, and this could be everything Top Esports have been dreaming of. They're headed towards finals if they can finish this game. 2 picks come on through, and they barrel towards the mid lane. Tier 2 will be taken. Kanavi, Ruler, and Missing. They have to stop this Baron going down.
So
To see what they're able to do.
I think I need to just stop when I'm talking about them hitting the tier 2.
yes, exactly. Just you already brought up that they got the 2 kills. It's 2 kills. It's a tier 2 turret, and Top Esports are looking at MSI. Like something like that, right? And then if JDG comes up and challenges for Baron, okay, cool, we can do that. If JDG like just ends up sitting back in the base and jacking off, and then like Top grabs the Baron uncontested, whatever, we can do that. But I think leading into the Baron call at the very, very back end of it ends up making the call weaker.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm just, I think I'm like over play-by-playing it. Like, that tier 2 being taken down does not need to be play-by-played. I need to just short and sweet, be clippable on the play, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, just celebrate what's going on. And it's tough because you have to celebrate what's happening on the Rift, but also what's happening for the team and the players. So there's always like a balance to strike, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Get back in here.
Very easy time, just head over there. But it's so awkward. Even like your AoE damage and your poke that could be there from the Talia or the Rumble.
Oh, Missing.
Do so.
Flash force by Cream. Good Spirit Rush to get that cooldown out. Missing's ultimate is about to come off cooldown again. Cream saving that last charge. It's JDG, they move to the mid lane, the arrow just goes into the Baron pit. They'll get 1 tier 1 tower. It's in trade for Baron. Kanavi, can he make a miracle happen? I don't think so. Backs away, Top Esports take Baron.
Another min-max thing, but like, even posing the rhetorical question, can he make a miracle happen? Like, he's not going to. He's literally at the brush next to mid lane.
Yeah.
So, I feel like I would, if it was me, I would just phrase that more of like, you know, Konami can't even get close.
Yeah.
Phrase it more as a negative versus a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it is just negative for JDG.
Straight to the objective. And now, I mean, this could be the fight that decides it all. Oh,
Flandre is caught.
I swear Tien hasn't missed a W all game.
This guy's crazy, bro.
Kanavi caught with the charm. Can't quite finish that kill, but honestly, a chunk on the jungler, a kill on the top laner. What more could you ask?
Now they're going to be able to make their way over and get to Seoul. For TES, it has been over a year since they've made it to an LPL Finals. They were there in 2022.
He's bringing it back.
It
Good job, Lyric.
them. And it's nice to see 18-5, Ocean Soul picked up, Baron in pocket. I mean, it is time for another Top Esports Finals.
And it feels like JDG, the 3P here in the LPL. They've won the last 3 LPL titles. And it seems that 369 will deny them. Returns to Top Esports after his vacation. Over on JDG. And now wins out the matchup, diving in the mid lane as the charm did land. The railgun doesn't quite land, but Ruler goes down anyway. It's Mako to find him, and Kanavi, he gets 1 reset, but that is all he will get. Top Esports break.
I completely lost track of the play there. That was terrible.
No, I was gonna say it sounded a little disjointed. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
Again, just because that's what it is. One of my favorite moments, and I'm sorry, Rafa, if you end up watching this VOD. One of my favorite moments doing a VOD review was with Rafa one time, and we were reviewing one of the plays that he did, and it was just a goofy play. Like he fucked up the words, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up watching it back like 6 or 7 different times because I was like, here's what you need to change. Like here's how I'd approach that to change it. And after like time number 5, he just got up and he walked into the kitchen from the living room, and he was just like, bro, no. he had to vent out his cringe from from having to watch it again.
Dude,
I was like, oh my
rewatching
God,
a
dude,
bad
I mental
call,
pooped this
yeah,
morning.
it just feels so fucking terrible. Honestly, VOD
I'm like,
reviewing when you feel you had a bad cast is the worst feeling in the world. It's so
rough.
necessary, but it feels so bad.
Right. So this was something that I actually did a lot back when I was in 2017 when I first started. I remember that if I had a bad cast, I would actually be like sitting in the green room just waiting for the end of the day meetings to be done. Like my leg would be shaking from like anxiety because I needed to go home and immediately VOD review so I could see how shit I was. I would get so angry at myself. I would get so frustrated with the fact that I'm like, no. I know that I could have done that better. And I would just immediately be chomping at the bit to go back and improve it. It was, that's definitely not the healthiest way to approach it, by the way, chat. I'm not encouraging this. I'm just saying this as a point of view thing. But okay, so we're near the end here. Let's
have a whole lot to fear.
I do think there's an extent to which you do need to have that kind of obsession, though, to
just coming right on out the bat
to be the best at anything, right?
Oh, you do.
Sports on the cusp. You know how keen they are for this. You know how much this means to the players. But can they put the final nail in JDG's coffin? This will be 2 inhibs taken. Jackie 5-0 and 11, setting up that previous pick as well. Having a statement game, not even on a traditional carry. He's been lane dominant all year and brings out the center in game 4 and looks phenomenal on the pick.
Yeah, he's been.
I'm so done with the Ash arrows, I don't even mention them.
As TS.
So honestly,
really don't
I
have to
don't even
reset-
have as much of a problem with the Ash arrow because it just ends up being such a non-factor. But while you're praising Jackie, you know the extra thing that I would have thrown in that I think also ties the higher level narrative into the lower level narrative of the current game.
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard either one of you guys mention so far that Senna and Tom are both deathless.
Yeah, true.
Jackie and Mako have not suffered a single death. They are 5-0 and 11 and 3-0 and 8. This is like an insane bottom lane performance.
Yeah, true.
From top
true,
esports.
True.
And so, like, when you're praising the fact that they're playing outside the style that you know them for, when they're stepping up in, like, an important game, when they're helping top esports, like, go to MSI, like, all of these different accolades that are higher level can be tied into a lower level of, bro, they're not fucking dead at all. Like, and that's always one of the things that I feel like a lot of times when people talk about narratives and they talk about storytelling and things like that, sometimes it can get too far into outer space. It can get too far gone. It can just be, it still needs to come back to the game. And so opportunities like this, when you're literally just looking at a double donut in the death column, is a beautiful chance to just tie in the overarching story of these players and this team with the current game.
Yeah. And also, it's like Jackie finally has a support that has hands and a brain for the first time in his entire career.
He's got all 10 fingers.
He's actually got a real support. And in their qualification match for MSI, game number 4, they're both deathless, like showing the fucking quality of this bot lane.
Exactly.
I feel like this is
world-class gameplay. And it's being shown not only on like an overarching narrative level, but in an individual per game level with the deathless scoreline.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I would have added there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate how the fact I can't.
I know. You can't hit spacebar either.
Well. It forces Flandre's ultimate. That's 2 huge ultimates down. I feel like the whole game, JDG's ultimates have been down every time they use them. The answer is just clean from top esports.
And we're going to see here, I mean, when becomes lightning connects, you have the Ocean Soul, you have enough to be able to force them back. And it's great to see the CC just keeps landing for TES. Continue, whether it's been the Charm or the root coming out from Jackal. I'm sure Cream goes down in the end, but yeah, it doesn't really feel like it changes anything for TES.
It certainly doesn't. This feels extremely one-sided at this point, and we're getting to the stage now where something's got to give. We're in miracle territory for JDG. You know, players like Yagao, we keep talking about the clutch potential, how he steps up for playoffs. Well, if you're going to step up, it's now or never. JDG now being sieged on the top side of the map as a third inhib could be opened wide.
Another
by
thing
Esports.
that I'm just like, and this is one of the things I default to with doing my own play-by-play when we're in like downtimes or we're waiting for the next big fight to happen, is I look and I see what story does the scoreboard tell me, right? Like, because again, one of the things that I always try to do is I'm not somebody who's trying to be a like very traditional, technically correct sports commentator. I'm somebody who's trying to authentically convey the spirit of enjoying the games. That's how I would describe the way that I commentate.
Yeah.
And so when I look at the scoreboard, I'm thinking, okay, think back to, 2012 Captain Flowers, who was just watching pro play and loving it as a fan. What would he want to hear about? What's the thing that he's looking at and pointing at the screen like that Leonardo DiCaprio gift going, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I always look at. And so one of the what the fuck thing that I'm looking at right now, other than Senna and Tom Kench having no deaths, Rumble is 0-4-0. Flandre is secretly playing Evelyn this game. He is invisible. He has done nothing. He has actually not contributed to the team whatsoever. This guy is just not there.
Yeah, true.
So that's another thing that I feel like maybe not right now specifically because, he's not even on the screen. It's not really about him right now. But previously throughout the game, I feel like that could have been another thing where, if you get past 20 minutes and a guy has a 0 in the kills column and a 0 in the assist column, that's a story on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
And it sets up for Lyric as well, because honestly, in hindsight, Rumble feels fucking impossible against this composition. Who the fuck are you hitting with your ult?
Yeah, it's like, what are you even doing?
Like, Xin Zhao's invincible to it with his ult. Mako's going to eat Jackie Love if he's hit. Cream just ults out. 369 just presses W. Like,
he doesn't care, yes.
Like, who the fuck are you killing with your equalizer this game,
all right,
really?
This character doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, like...
And again, but that can also then tie into a greater narrative arc about how top esports just is able to put together a better composition, right? Like Flandre is effectively nullified by the fact that these guys just outpiloted them all the way back in draft. We've seen them outplaying them in game. The score is 20-6 for God's sake. But they also outplayed them beforehand because of the fact that your top laner just does not matter.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's another story that you could also possibly tell. Again, this isn't a mistake, it's a min-max.
Yeah, I agree though. I agree. That's a good point.
How a miracle could happen. How do you even start the fight?
There, Munch, the miracle is the fact that, at least if JDG can't get the chance to go for a 4th title in a row, 369 can, right? 369 will carry that torch because it looks insurmountable. Kanavi looking for the angle.
Kanavi's just running it at this point.
Cream immediately dives onto the rest of his team. It's as one-sided as you like, but Top Esports will be over the moon with this. It's a 3-1 in the end as they rout JDG. The rivalry lives on between these two legendary organizations, but this chapter is written in Top Esports Inc.
Top Esports.
I like that it's written in their ink. That's a good call. I like that a lot. It's very, it's like a vivid
They're able to completely take JDG,
visualization.
And JDG just had no answers.
369 will return to the finals. He will return to MSI and he will attempt to defend his titles.
So, 2 points on your on the ending call. Number one, Lyric's energy needed to be +3. Like he was at like a 4 for that ending call. He needs to be at like a 7 minimum, I think. And again, this is Captain Flowers. This guy's too American. Like obviously, I know I'm on the higher end of the energy spectrum. I think Lyric definitely needed to bump that energy up a lot. Also, I think that your Nexus explosion call should be about the team as a whole versus just the one player. I think it would have been better if the 369 point was the previous one, like when they
Yeah.
were winning the fight, and then like it's a top esports call for the Nexus kill.
Yeah,
Right?
I had planned on. I don't know why I thought that the game was ending right then and there. I guess it would have been if there was a wave, but I kind of I
It's
overshot
tough.
on the previous call. That really was the like game ending call, but I did it too early.
Right?
Really.
Yeah. That's what I figured because it sounded like it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like if going into this, because you guys were literally even talking about it beforehand. It's like, 369, he was on the JDG that won the 3 previous splits. Now he's on top esports. JDG is about to lose to top esports, so 369 can still be the 4-peat. Like, because you already know that story, that should have been the opener.
Yeah.
That should have been the thing that you started off with as they're acing them and they're making their way to the Nexus. So that then even if it goes long, you can still do the top esports team call as the end.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality is we're never going to be able to plan for every possible outcome. We're never going to be able to always make sure that the players in the game right as our call crescendos or right as the timing is supposed to be correct.
Yeah.
But we can stack the deck, right? We can make sure that we are setting things up so that even if something isn't ideal, it's still the best version of what it could be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like the idea of doing the 369 point before instead of after. That's a good point.
All right, so
yeah.
I am going to. This game is done. I'm going to hit the restroom. I'm going to grab more water, and then we can do game number 2. Okay?
Yeah. If only if you're still good to keep going. I realize it has already been 2 hours, so if you
brother,
if you want to do this another time or whatever, that's cool. But I'm happy to plow on.
We're having a great time.
Hell yeah,
I'm having a
cool.
great time.
Okay,
like,
good.
As long
yeah,
as you're the one who's actually. I feel like you're probably more pressed for time here because I know it's nighttime over there in the UK. It's 2:00 in the afternoon here in California. It's a bright sunny day outside.
Yeah, but
I'm
at the
chilling.
same time, this other one, no delay. So I'm actually really fucking keen to look at this other cast as well and see how it compares. Yeah.
No, this is going to be great. Okay, give me 5. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Real quick. Hold on, I'm actually going to mute the Discord call so I can thank subs and shit real quick.
Sure.
1 second.
All right, chat. I'm gonna be right back. 5 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and grab another drink. But I will be back shortly. Snapport LPL starts tomorrow. LPL starts literally tomorrow. And it's NIP versus Weibo, I believe, on day 1. So it's gonna be a bit of a banger too. So do not miss it tomorrow morning. I'll definitely be there. I will not be casting tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will be. I'll be watching. Right, I'll be right back. 2 seconds. All right, team. I'm back. All right. Chat. Any thoughts, any comments, any questions? While we're in between the games, I can respond a little bit. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Counterflowers gave you a shout out a minute ago. Sheesh, what the fuck is a shout out? I don't even know how that works. How am I today? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What do you feel was your best cast ever? Oh, I don't really know, to be honest. Do you know, I feel I should have an answer for that question, but I don't feel I've ever had a cast that I was like 100% happy with. But I maybe need to think about that. I maybe should figure out an answer to that question for the future, you know? Is Weibo the dark horse this split? I'd say they're more than dark horse. Honestly, Weibo look pretty fucking good this split. I'm kind of scared of Weibo this split.
And TLO Chaos back here at Tier 3 for the...
Flowers is still shouting out subs and stuff.
Hello, brother. I am back.
Hello. I just put a message in your chat saying I didn't want to like interrupt the shout outs and all of that good stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I was letting you know I'm back. And thank you. I
I'm
didn't
back
even know
when you're ready. Hell yes.
What the hell is the shout? I just saw that you shouted me out on Twitter. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Oh, I don't know what it is either. My mods, so Colossus Elephant, his real name is Drew. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of my main mods in the chat as well. He has so much shit set up. I don't even know how all of it works. He's got this automatic thing set up. So yeah, that's some Drew magic right
Well,
there.
Colossus Elephant, I salute you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so we're moving on to game number 2 now. So go ahead, give us the preface on what this one is. What are we doing?
So this one,
First off,
hang on, let me just put it in the thing, the thingy thing. So this one is Worlds Play-ins last year. This is another game 4.
Okay.
And I believe this is to qualify for the main stage of Worlds.
Okay, so this was...
It's either to get into the qualification match, or I'm pretty sure this is the qualification match for Worlds main stage.
So whoever wins this goes on to actual main stage in Korea.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is... Okay, so we've got GAM versus Wales. All right.
Yeah, it's PCS Finals rematch.
And so you said that you the furthest you've gone at Worlds was play-ins. Right?
This is the last game I cast of Worlds. This is the only Worlds I've done, and this was the last game that I did.
Okay, so your goal this year is to go past this one.
Basically, yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah,
I cast the qualifier, but I never qualified.
That's brutal when you put it that way. God damn.
But hey, look, we live and learn. We move forward. 2024,
Exactly.
2025, 2026, 2027, all the way through to 2088.
You know, so I'm a big heavy metal guy. I love metal. And one of Ronnie James Dio, who is one of the greatest vocalists in heavy metal history, one of his lines is "The best steel goes through the fire." And I've always loved that line so much.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anytime I'm in the shit and I'm just pissed off at how like bad everything feels, I just remember Dio saying the best steel goes through the fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're in the fucking fire, boys. Let's get through there.
Yeah.
So
anyone currently suffering esports winter, that line's for you.
Let's cook. Let's cook. All right. So let's get into it. You said you're not on any delay for this one. So let's see what you got. Like in
Yeah.
theory, okay. All right.
I wasn't
So-
working the tech side of things. So I
All
don't
right,
take
all right,
any
all right.
responsibility.
Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do for this.
Over 11 games and a 7 KDA in the jungle there, feeling strong.
Team Wales look like they're
We saw Bandalot,
sponsored by the
starter
History
players
Channel.
that's sort of fallen out of favor.
They've got like a
What's
little
that?
The
H on their jersey on the
Or,
front.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
just set up for the big all-in.
I mean, look at the grin there on the coach's face. They are very happy to go. Do you
Oh,
know
we
what?
got Dagda on this
Let's
cast.
just go
Hell
for
yes,
it.
love
Yeah.
We
Dagda.
already know that we've
Good
got
for
the
them.
setup. We
The
can-
OG.
if they
We,
have to play as
yeah,
well, they
we,
have to run into us. They're gonna be
we got
grouped up.
drunk
They're
on
gonna
a
be trying to come
train
in at the one point
in
time.
Korea.
So if they go for this
I don't know
big
if you
combo
saw this
combo,
story. Did you
let's
see
just
this?
jump back on
Don't
the
think so,
face.
no.
And you've got decent
Oh, wait,
setup.
No,
Maybe.
we
Decent
drank
setup for
soju on a
it.
train in
It's gotta be
Korea
to the
at
Syndra.
11 o'clock
You
in the
can set up
morning
cards
because
with
I
these
asked
fights.
Chronicler if we were
You're
allowed
gonna
to
be in a
drink on the
good spot,
train,
but
and he
it
thought
does
I
go
made
back to what you made
coffee.
earlier, Munchables. If you don't get rolling
And then
on
he
the top
looked
side,
over at us
don't
when we were
have the
passing the
damage
bottle
from
back
team
and
fights,
forth.
have that
He was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Team Wales
I was like, "What do you
are
mean,
going
man?
I feel
We're
like
just having a
Glory
good
is gonna
time."
be a focus
Hell
point for
yeah,
Team
dude.
Wales. He's been
Hey,
reasonably
you're on a day
quiet
off.
this series
On
compared to
holiday.
the
Yeah,
season.
Too
exactly.
right.
Just
Too
just
fucking
bros
right.
being bros, having a
And
good time.
He's gonna have to
Hell
have
yeah.
a lot of damage. He's gonna have to
If
be
you ever
more
need a
set
drink,
for
buddy,
this
Rob
game
is your
as well.
guy.
We need to see
Oh yeah,
Dude
no,
can drink
dude,
me
he's
under the
best. He's
table.
best.
It's not even
We
close.
gotta run back the
I wanna
Crash
see
Bash
this big
night
jungle pop off.
sometime.
Dude, big
Scatter
time,
the
big
weak
time.
into the Sonic Wave,
We'll get some
kill this
Smash on the
warrior
go. I'll bring my
over and
Switch.
over until the
Oh
left
yeah,
field
no,
is
dude, it'll be
absolutely
great.
visible,
Hell yes.
And then you can join that into the bot lane as well.
Dude, tell you what, I'll see you there, Worlds 2024.
Let's go. I
Fucking
like
Smash
that.
Bros
That's-
night.
Yes, let's go. That's a Chad line right there. I'll see you there. I like that.
Hell yeah.
And it will be GAM Esports who are cheering once again as Team Wales have left themselves with tears in their eyes.
At this point, like well, first off, I don't condone bullying, so I'm basically cheering for GAM now after that. I really hope they're not just trying to make GAM cry. But realistically, I just want 5 games now. Like, this series has been so
I always cheer for
fun
5
to
games
watch
as well.
so far.
Hell yeah,
We've got a
dude.
VCS Finals rematch, and GAM looking to repeat their scoreline. They got a 3-1 win domestically. Let's see if they can repeat it here in the qualifications, but Team Wales not going down without a fight. They lock a full aggro composition. They are bringing it to GAM in the 4th game.
Already, we can see everyone spreading out across the ways, wanting to make sure that nobody gets any sort of vision down, because every single game, we've seen these kind of late invades to get vision and make sure that you're in an okay spot. We've even seen split maps coming in from game 2, but now coming into game 4, when the chips are down, looks like everyone's just going to take it nice and easy. Bit of damage across Levi, though.
When the chips are down, pick them up and eat them. Delicious. It's not very good for you, though, I will say. Chips.
Man.
Trying to eat less
Pretty
chips.
sure it's a poker term rather than... Oh, so we call them crisps.
That was
I was talking about,
What are you
like,
talking about?
chips, as in, like, fries, too.
Oh,
wider
okay,
world.
okay.
all right. All right, you got me with that one. That actually caught me off guard. That was-
Team Wales moving in once again. We've seen this sort of invade. Did they get spotted
I don't think they
on the
did.
wall? It's hard to say. Honestly, I think they did. BJ trying to get out. Will flash over the wall. Bia might have to do the same thing. Artemis getting some stacks going. Not afraid. And the red buff will
That was
reset. I
wild
think
for a
that's
level
quite
1
to
in
be a
pro
positive
play. Wait,
Yeah,
oh,
I don't know
God
what the
bless
fuck
America.
just happened.
Why are we?
Was coming through, but I'm kind of surprised to see how aggressive that they went in that one. I mean, they didn't know that they were going to get spotted. But
Oh, wait,
still,
you're British, so
they're
it's God
kinda
Save the
late in
Queen,
evades.
right?
That's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I
Well,
gotta make sure
king
my
now.
expletives are
We're
correct.
to set up
Oh, God
beautifully
Save the King.
with
Yeah, my
the,
bad.
Yeah.
With the E, the pullback to get the multi-man stun. So I thought
Careful,
they
you'll
just
set
kinda
me
backed
off on
away
the
that
fucking
far.
national anthem
And
in a
then you got
second.
Lee Sin, who's
I actually do not know many of the
trying to
words
start
to
off
that.
his own,
I know the
jungle
first
camp.
tiny bit.
And also having no flash. If I'm Levi, I'm probably trying to invade on top side and use some of that pressure to see if I can get this Lee Sin out of the game.
That certainly would make sense. Hopefully we can get any issues remedied shortly. This Team Wales, again, like,
is this
like
a
you
long
said earlier,
pause? Do
the
we need to
pause coming on
skip?
through, you can
I
give
honestly
them
can't remember.
right, that you
So you're all over mid lane. And kind
is PS
Yeah,
Yes.
we can
Like
try to skip
24
forward a little bit, I
of
think.
injury, want to try and punch him out, but
back when
it's more of a case of
Oh my god, it's a
from
really
this
long
one,
pause.
Arch out, and now Pallet.
I didn't rewatch these VODs before the review because I wanted to
Fight night continues, as
respond
it were.
to-
For anyone that's just joining us,
I didn't want it to be like premeditated on my side. I wanted to respond
Right,
to the
yeah.
VODs.
that was Hex Flash. I'm pretty sure he used his
Yes,
flash.
yes.
There was a level 1 invade. Team Wales tries to make something aggressive happen in the bottom side. You can see B&J, no flash in that jungle. Had to flash out, and now Low HP as he goes for his clear. Flash forward for Beer, but he's not level 2 just yet. Level 2 now hit by the Team Wales bottom lane, but Beer has to back away from this one. Artemis in trouble as now Levi moves into the mid lane as well. It's absolute carnage to start the game.
Artemis and B have to back away. Glory
Okay, that was wild. Observers also were just like on speed for that one. They just going from bottom to mid, like jumping back and forth. That was crazy.
Earlier by Team Wales.
I feel like my energy's a little low for how crazy this game is.
I don't think there's very much that he can do about it.
To be fair, you're also at the you're not at 3 minutes yet into the game.
Yeah.
So I find it
I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
On yet another ward here. Bean J has smite available. Will take his big crook. Should be able to finish all of the little ones. Okay, level 3 actually advantage for Bean J. Sparta could move over. I don't know if they realistically win this with a Malphite at level 3 though.
No, put it back away. And my mistake as well, you don't get the level 3 up the tier now, so Levi had gone for. Needed either the Krugs or the Gromp in that one, but we'll just be able to pick it up off the lane stage instead. And then
Bean J was spotted there. He's managed to sneak in behind enemy lines. Pallet, though, in the meantime, moving towards the mid lane. Oh, Glory, you're in so much trouble. And he doesn't have his flash available after the level 1 red buff to slow him down. And that's a haymaker from Pallet.
I love that was a great use of ability name plus gravity of the situation for what he did. Very good job. I love that call. Haymaker from Power.
Very far ahead here with that play.
Nice.
Only losing out on the Wolves, so kind of matching the Raptors for Wolves trade there as being.
Oh, 175 for a plate. Kind of forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna be very surprised if he tried to commit towards a blue buff steal or anything here. Should just try and rotate down to this bot side, pick up his own camps that are still available that hadn't been cleared off his initial play, and then move into Scuttlebutt. Who am I to judge BJ?
Yeah, he doesn't have any vision of anything. He is going to commit to the recall in the end. I'm not sure what he was hoping for there, whether he was expecting maybe hoping Catty would come and try and ward that brush or something like this. Not sure. Either way, Artemis in the meantime did get a plate down in that bottom side. You can see CS relatively even. And as this wave pushes out, that's kind of your opportunity for Artemis, for Beer, to look for a potential all-in with the Ignite.
Yeah, there isn't a lot that you can do against Slater, though, because he was able to back and get the longsword versus just the pot.
Yeah, this guy's just so far forward, man.
The flash, the slow coming through from the command dissonance means
I will say,
to get in. And at this stage, Pallet, I know you want
the quality drop between the LVL lower bracket game
yeah,
and
it's
it's like a slap in the face.
It's rather stark, I think you could call it.
To disappear back to base.
He just takes a couple of punches to the face. He'll be all right. He'll walk away and go back towards clearing his jungle. In the meantime, Slater and Pallet have a huge wave to crash. Levi in the area, but I don't think this is a diveable angle right now, so he's going to be able to clear that one. BJ was sort of hovering as well, just in case.
Yeah, also
I mean,
reset coming through from Slater and Pallet again, so trying
for
to see
what
if
it's
they can
worth,
keep up.
And again, this is nitpicky, but this is why we're doing this. Is we're nitpicking.
Yeah.
It was never a dive angle for Levi. He's there to shadow as they crash the wave, so that Bean, like, you understood what was going on. You just had him backwards. Like, Levi is shadowing. Bean J is looking for maybe if there's an angle. And then once they see the way that the wave is behaving, like, Bean J recognizes that Levi is, like, probably around and they're just crashing the wave. So he backs off. But Levi's never coming there for a dive. It's always just a crash angle. His job is to make sure that Bean J can't show up and double kill his bot lane.
Yeah. I think that's sort of what I was trying to say, is that it's not a dive angle. But I don't know. I'm never sure with Set. I feel like
bringing up that it's a dive angle, I feel like is superfluous.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's not, right? It's like Levi. I feel like the better thing to observe is Levi is down here so they can crash the wave, versus Levi's here, but it's not a dive angle, right?
Yeah.
Again, this is very min-maxy. It's not a mistake or anything like that, but it's I think it's a more accurate descriptor of the state of the game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
God bless.
The matching the buy that just came through from Artemis, you can see he reset for the recurve. So trying to match fire with fire with straight of Dirk net completed. So again, should have a bit more control there for the Kaisa in this matchup, just off the buy states. And also the fact that, again, Pallet has been doing a great job of getting into position
Oh
has
no.
smite away by Levi.
BJ, unfortunately, missing out on the steal. He's quite far behind in CS at this point. Glory starting to take control of this mid lane matchup. Catty, low on HP, low on mana. Glory at
I
that
feel like
level
I'm
6
too
mark.
game
Like,
focused in
they're
this
both
one.
low on HP in that mid lane.
Oh yeah,
Hit level
yeah.
Like
There hasn't been a whole lot
micro-focused.
about the narrative.
Glory,
Oh.
Pallet flashing forward, so he's hit level 6, but it just doesn't matter.
Great play from
So-
Palace, managing to catch Glory on the edge of that now.
I don't think, because of the fact that it's Syndra, I don't think the call out for level 6 matters at all. Because Syndra's level 6, the only purpose it serves in the entire game is damage, right? So
Yeah, it doesn't save
versus,
them, yeah.
Right, like versus Orianna, it would be worth pointing out, like, oh, she has Shockwave, maybe that's going to create enough distance or something. But for Syndra, I don't think the level 6 is worth even pointing out there. Because the whole focus of the thing is, why the fuck is Set here? Wait, she's dead? And I don't think that her ulti, whether or not it's there, makes any difference ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that call could have been, what's the word? Sharpened to be more about what was actually happening.
I think I was very clearly just like not ready for Pallet to make that play either, despite the fact that he's already been mid and killed Glory once, like, and he's moving mid again. I feel like this is, honestly, just vibes alone and like the few bits we've seen,
Vibes
I already feel this is a significantly worse cast than the last one we did.
I mean, yeah, it feels to me like you're, what's the right way to say this? You're reacting, but not in a way where it's like you're reacting to the gameplay in front of you in the way that you're intending to as a commentator. It's like you're reacting because you're just sort of along for the ride.
Yeah.
Right? And
I'm saying the
not
thing that's
trying...
happening, but it's not really like premeditated in any way.
Right.
It doesn't
You
feel that
weren't
premeditated.
planning ahead of time to be like, oh, that's what's going to happen. I better be ready to address this. It's just like, oh, wait, it's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we've all had casts like that. I've had plenty of casts like that, right? But it's one of those things where it's important to recognize it so that you can identify it when it happens in the future and snap out of it as fast as possible.
Yeah. I'm curious now to see if I feel like I do snap out of it, because I'm aware of this. I've done this plenty of times, and
I
have recovered
That's
casts.
the nature of the game.
We'll see.
All right, let's get back into it.
We'll be spotting out Pallet as well, but I thought we might have seen Team Wells trying to make a play in towards mid lane. There's actually about to praise Glory for the advantage he's picked up, and now
wait.
Oh
Sparta.
no.
He's level 6. Sparta's
Catty
level
has
6.
no ult.
He's going into the mid lane. It's a knock up there. The hook though blocked as the root lands onto Catty. He's ignited and should go down, but PJ solo on HP. Levi chasing for the kill and finds the 1v1. Pallet as well, low. In the meantime, Sparta trying to finish one of these kills off, but he just can't get onto anyone. And now Levi keeping the fight going. Levi, you might have overstepped on this one, but pulled back in is Sparta. Flashes for a kill, and there's a bonus. Glory arrives on the scene.
Gam just needed to back
That was
away.
good.
They got
That was good.
what they
I actually
wanted,
like that
but
one a lot.
instead
If you were
tried to
talking about,
overextend
oh, I'm
that.
curious if I recover, I think that was by far your best moment in this game. Like at this point. Let's go back and watch it again.
I got a little lost in the sauce in the middle, but I think overall good.
Low on HP in that mid
Glory
lane.
saved me by having a
When
big
you hit
moment.
level 6, that's a big advantage towards Glory. Pallet flashing forward, so he's hit level 6, but it just doesn't matter.
Great play from Palace, managing to catch Glory on the edge of that now. We'll be spotting out Pallet as well, but I thought we might have seen Team Wells trying to make a play in towards mid lane. There's actually about to praise Glory for the advantage he's picked up, and now
wait.
Sparta.
He's level 6. Sparta's
Catty
level
has no
6.
ult.
He's going into the mid lane. It's a knock up there. The hook though blocked as the root lands onto Catty. He's ignited and should go down, but PJ solo on HP. Levi chasing for the kill and finds the 1v1. Pallet as well, low. In the meantime, Sparta trying to finish
So
one of
that
these kills off, but he just
that
can't
I
get onto
think
anyone.
is the that's where I would change it. I think up until that point where you say Pallet as well, I can't really find any fault with the way that you covered the fight. You started off by pointing out the fact that Malphite is level 6, which is great. You're covering the fact that, you know, they block the hook from the Nautilus. Again, this is huge. Everything covered up until this point is really good. But then when we go back to Pallet as well, I feel like we're kind of randomly just reassessing the state of the fight based on Pallet for no reason. I think the min-max here is instead to count the bodies. Just be
Yeah,
like, we've
yeah.
got a trade
2v2,
so
yeah.
far, but now a 2v2 is left. Levi down to 150 HP. His pallet falls back to the tier 1, but Sparta and BA aren't done. Right? Like, looking at it from that point of view, I feel like focusing only on pallet ends up limiting the way that we can authentically cover the fight and makes it feel more forced.
Yeah.
So that's everything up until this point is S tier. Like, everything up until this point is actual World's Finals tier.
Nice. Thanks.
But
yeah.
this point is where I would change.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
And now Levi keeping the fight going. Levi, you might have overstepped on this one, but pulled back in is Sparta, flashes for a kill, and there's a bonus! Glory arrives on the scene.
Gam just needed to back away. They got what they
I think I really sound like esports Doug there. I don't know if you watch Valorant ever.
No, I haven't.
He's an NA caster that casts Valorant, and I don't know that bit where I said "Glory arrives on the scene." You can tell I've been watching Valorant, I think, because it sounds really similar to his calls.
Wanted to go one-to-one there, but ultimately that bonus kill there evens up the gank that we saw onto Glory earlier on in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, the fact now as well that you get the opportunity to play around Glory a little bit more because he's come back. He has that level 6 hit. You still have BJ's there. He still has Flash as well. Means there are opportunities to try and continue to make plays in mid, because ideally that's what Team Wales was going for. You can see that FA was already waiting in the wings. They wanted to try and play around Glory, who's going to hit that level 6 so soon here. But Pallet, preemptively getting into the mid lane, knows that he's just stronger than the Nautilus when it comes towards the 2v2, because it's a set versus a Nautilus. And then here, I mean, you kind of get the kill for Team Wales, but the fact that Catty manages to step away in the backside, also get that ultimate off, means that Team Wales have to overextend in this position. And then it's just Gam who starts to chase them down. But again, at this stage, Gam just back away. Levi decides to re-engage, and Pallet has to move in to try and set things up. But good flash from Sparta, manages to set that one.
I was trying to figure out what Levi was thinking. I just saw the Void Seeker fly
Slater.
up from Slater. He's trying to set up.
Way too low energy.
Yeah, I'm still talking about the fucking replay instead of.
Yeah, bro, you are AFK right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I was not ready for that.
Way too low energy. Yeah.
I wonder if I'm like
okay.
looking at Rob or something there. Like that was. I
was so confused. I was like, wait a second. I'm seeing flashes. I'm seeing all sorts of shit down here in bottom lane. What is going on? Okay, all right.
Bro, I'm right there with you.
Kai'Sa ultimate, fly in, get the kills onto the AD carry. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. Sparta flashes, finishes that kill. Makes it impossible, then Glory getting the bonus off the back of it. Sparta moves back up to the top side. And we kind of reset to 0 for a second. I just want to quickly mention as well, Dagda. I feel like we're almost seeing like the foreshadowing of the fact that Adam's playing later today. First off, Sparta ganking the mid lane, but also we get a set in this lobby as well. It feels like a very like pre-Adam series.
We'll have to see if it's going to be the Darius here for Team Wales when they bring out the gods, or if it's going to be a different or if it's going to be the dogs for Gam instead. But I think this has kind of been a decent spot for Gam from the get-go, right? Your set's doing perfectly well. He's playing aggressive, which is what you want from the set, especially in the roams, and being able to set up the team. You've got the Rift Chart now in your back pocket. Divine Sunder very much started for Levi. As long as you can actually get this down into the bot side to get Slater up and rolling. I
really dislike that Adam point in hindsight. I feel like that's super forced. I really dislike my point about this being a pre-Adam game. Like,
oh yeah, I mean it has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like it's a funny coincidence, and I notice that kind of thing often, like little patterns, but it just doesn't matter. It's not that interesting. It's not that funny, and it just takes away from. Like this isn't about Adam. This is about Pallet.
I don't think it was an active detractor from the game, but I don't think it added any value at all.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Catty down to half HP as they are fighting desperately for Prio now. You can see Catty doing everything he can to get control of this mid lane, but when your health bar's this low, yeah, Pallet moving over. Somebody's got to help Catty get this wave in, because otherwise Glory has a chance at an all-in. Pallet, I've got to say, it's been on point so far in this set.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Pallet is a
menace,
sure man. This guy's actually been having a crazy game.
Worm his way in behind there to get the ult, but you can see his flash just now back off cooldown, and this is where you got to get dangerous.
Behind gets the Drake as we're all grouped up. Sparta has the ultimate available. They're just going to go for the closest target, but that's a Wukong across everyone. And Pallet finds one. Slater flies in from the side, and it's more kills into the pocket.
All right, hold on. We got to redo it. That fight was fucking psychotic. 1 second. That was that was an absolute madness tier fight.
I was so late. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I felt like this cast sucks. What the fuck? Maybe I'm being too harsh on myself, but I think the other cast was so much better.
And this is where you got to get dangerous.
Behind gets the Drake as we're all grouped up. Sparta has the ultimate available. They're just going to go for the closest target, but that's a Wukong across everyone. And Pallet finds one. Slater flies in from the side.
It was very slow. It was very slow because you're still talking about Malphite having the ultimate by the time that he casts it, right?
Yeah.
So he's already in there. I feel like what you have to do is when you come into a fight like this, when you know that it's going to be a fucking explosion. And again, this is reading cooldowns as indicators of what is about to happen. We've seen the teleport committed, right? Teleport is a baseline like fucking 7-minute cooldown or whatever. So whenever somebody commits a teleport, you know that their team is looking to really throw down.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I see TP, what I'm doing is I am saying shorter sentences, right? I'm going to say, TP's coming in. Team Wales looking. I'm just saying those short, indicative sentences of action is about to happen.
Yeah.
Because I know that something is about to explode. And I want to be ready because nothing that I'm going to say as a precursor is going to be as important as when that fight actually starts. And once it happens, I need to be ready to respond to it. And I think that you went overboard on doing your precursors. And that's why you ended up being late to the fight. And then it ended up, because it was so fast, like that was an abnormally fast fight. That one was psycho mode. But because you were behind, it felt even worse.
I think part of the issue as well is like, I think until that moment right there, I hadn't really like acknowledged that this was going to be a massive fight. The obviously like set Orianna, Wukong, Renekton is going to be a big fucking wombo combo. Like, of course that's going to be a big fucking wombo combo. But I'm not sure I'd ever like, actually looked at it through, put 2 and 2 together and said, okay, I'm looking out for big ultimates, And so like, they all fucking happened. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, big ultimates. I don't know why I wasn't ready for that. That just seems really dumb to me, but is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do the reviews for, right? It's learning, it's assessing situations and figuring out how to better navigate them in the future.
Yeah. Kills into the pocket of Pallet.
Beautiful positioning from Levi. I think Team Wales assumed that he'd gone over the wall with the clone, and that's why they weren't worried about him. But Levi just hiding in the pit, knowing there's no vision there for Team Wales, and Gam strike perfectly back onto the plane.
I mean, Pallet, 3-1 and 3 right now, 100% kill participation, and a hat trick on this set. It's not a meta pick, but it's working beautifully.
Yeah, so we see here Team Wales try to take the fight. Dragon goes down, and they see Levi exit into the pit. So they assume, they're trying to back away. Levi's going to go over the wall. But Levi doesn't. So actually sets up beautifully alongside Pallet with that gorgeous ultimate. Haymaker across, picks up the kill for him. And Slater's then able to use the CC that's already been there to follow in, to pick up the double kill for the support. I mean, you've got to be happy with that. Look at that from Levi.
They are over the moon with that one, feeling the energy. The funny thing is, it's not even, like, the first kill he got, yeah, fair play, Pallet kind of just stole that one. But those two, like, they were the first one was a necessary kill. The second one in that fight, that was actually his Ignite that kind of unluckily took it. So it's not even like he's actively trying to take these kills either. So far, so good for Gam. You see the goal difference there, slowly but surely.
I don't feel like the things I'm talking about are that great, but I do feel like I'm really vibing in this one. I'm clearly having a good time. So that's nice.
We're talking about Team Wales picking this position that really
to be fair, like the last fight was kind of a stomp. It's not like there's it's not like you have to set up anything crazy right now because of the fact that none of the neutral objectives are alive. So I can forgive kind of just like going for more of a vibe approach for right now because I don't think it's objectively wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think it's objectively wrong, but
If we were in a very close, like, late game state or something, yeah, I'd be like, okay, we definitely need to talk more about what's about to happen. But I feel like vibing right now is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I honestly, I like that I'm just complimenting Palette. Even if I think it's a bit weird the way I approached it, I definitely think talking about Palette right now is the play.
Yeah, no, dude, this guy is telling the story of the game. This dude is the game, for sure.
Can right now.
And that's the biggest problem. Artemis just hasn't been in a position where they can try and play off him because Pallet has just been, hey, push bot, roam elsewhere. Now, Sparta's in a lot of trouble. Forced the flash because the ultimate wasn't up and available. And that's going to give a ton of control now as you try to look towards Rift Herald in 2 minutes' time. No flash on the Malphite makes it significantly easier for Gam to position fights.
So he does. Nori will be able to clear this wave, deny the Herald. Oh, not deny the Herald, kill the Herald, but did get that one plate off the back of the Herald, and Kiaya already 2.5 plates in on the top side, close to a third one. It's Levi getting cheeky in the jungle once again. Basically, the whole of Wales are here, aside from Sparta. So won't be able to do too much.
I think that
Perhaps could look towards
getting
Vikings
cheeky
bottom
in the
side.
jungle doesn't actually really describe what's going on. I think I would have preferred to hear that Levi, again, just pushing Gam's advantage into the enemy jungle. They have priority over the bottom lane. The wave is crashing into the turret, and Levi has his opportunity to, again, just steal more of the rift away from Team Wales. Like, something like that, right? Like, this is where I guess I think you're too far into the vibes, right? Because, oh, yeah, Levi's just getting cheeky in the... Like, that's what you say when you're just chilling with your buddy watching the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the official cast, for the descriptor, it's probably better to talk about invading the jungle and how the bot lane priority affects his ability to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree. I'm vibing too hard here because we've not had a single narrative drop, although there has been a lot of action so far. I've not really talked about any of the players, like especially Sparta. I feel, not Sparta, Palette. I feel like there would be a really good angle to talk about his backstory a little bit. We'll see though. There's plenty of time. It's only 30 minutes in the game.
We'll see where we go.
For an all-in onto Glory, but the scat of the week will deny.
Just about able to back away. You see though, Caddy now feeling way more confident to position aggressively because he can get the kill.
Shockwave, Catty looking for a solo kill. Catty is destroying Team Wales.
Oh, hang on.
I like that. That was good.
But he still got to follow the kick away. But Palet's there. And 4 kills for the bloodthirsty support of Gam.
Pala is taking them apart. This is brutal. Gam are here.
I really liked you guys' energy and the way that, like, the solo kill plus that follow-up there on the Lee Sin, that was really good. I like that a lot. I thought that was a very emotionally, not emotionally, God bless America, emotionally honest approach to how a fan watching that would feel.
And then this, like you can see it here, Kazi knows he's got the
I really like the me and Rob practiced like sort of back and forthing play-by-play in really big fights back in the LPL together. And like here, Rob play-by-plays the attempt to pick on BJ, and like
yeah, no, he did really well.
Like that feels good. Like all of that practice, like 4 fucking years ago, like cashes in. It feels
payoff.
fucking good.
Delayed payoff.
Yeah.
This strong outside of Senna.
He's the second most goal difference in the game. I love these Mastercard Lane Academy snapshots where we just get to see that here is the stupid amount of goal difference you need to look at.
I will say, this slight negative for Gab is you don't really want all of your gold on your support, but at the same time, you're 8 and 3 up. You're 5
Dude, Wales
kills.
are getting thumped
Like,
in this one.
everyone, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, this is actually all right. Like, I'll be
I don't remember this being this one-sided, but
and they're making it work.
maybe it was.
And that's
have decided that they're gonna
the
go
reason that I
full
bring that
hands on the
up
map.
is
They're
because
starting up
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard, like, because, you know, you look at the scoreboard and it's 8-3. This is one of the things that I also always like to point out, is because when you're casting for people who might play the game casually, or they're not like super tryhards themselves, or maybe they are, but they just don't understand the game very well. So many people look at kills in League of Legends as law, right? This game's 8-3. Yeah, that's a really good advantage for Gam, but 8-3 is not 4,500 gold
Yeah.
of lead. So that's one of the other things that I immediately just have a mental tripwire on is when is the gold difference dishonest with the kill difference? And whenever I notice it, bring it up because it's an interesting conversation to have. Because if I look at this right now and I'm like, okay, 15 minutes into the game, plates just fell 1 minute ago. It's 8-3. It's a bloodier game than normal, but it's not crazy. But yet, Cam is up 4,500 gold. How does this even happen? You're looking across the scoreboard. Yeah, Wukong's up a little. Mid lane 80 carry. The farm is even. Top lane's got an advantage. But it's Gam, who's just way far out in front.
Yeah.
And I think that tells a really good story and a really good summary of how the early game has gone.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's the change that I would make there.
The Rift Herald keeping control over the mid lane as well. You can see this.
I'm curious if we bring that up in a second or not.
As long as we can control mid priority.
Yeah,
Because you're
let's-
right, we haven't talked about gold at all this game.
Dragon in 15 seconds. They'll probably be a little bit late for. So if Team Wales are quick enough, they might be able to make something happen there. But I think they're a bit worried that if they go for that Dragon, they're actually going to lose their mid turn in response.
We'll do the Hextech Drake next. And luckily for us, the first Drake of the game was Cloud. So no Cloud souls today, but Levi flashed away by Artemis, but the shockwave, you can't flash away from that one. Will survive for the time being. That's 2 ultimates used, and now Glory forced to flash himself by Kiaya.
Yeah, though Kiaya still getting the better of that. You can see
Okay.
the amount of Merc thread value that's going to be coming out in this one between the Malphite, Nanos, and the Syndra means that he's perfectly happy to go toe-to-toe with Glory. Cassie, though, has no ultimate. Needs to be careful. Sparta, no flash. But if you're all in the pit here as Gam, maybe this is where Artemis can come alive.
Sparta level 11, so second level on that ultimate. Keep your eyes on the Malphite. The ult has to be huge. Glory
I
over the wall
think
as well.
leading into this fight, so you had like what is it, like 3 or 4 seconds there to make your opening statement for the fight, and you're talking about Malphite being level 11 and having the level 2 ulti, and that's again, I don't think it's wrong. That is important. The thing that I would highlight instead is this is big because of the ultimates and summoner spells we just saw used back in mid lane, right? Glory has no flash. Beanjay has no ulti. Levi has no ulti. Kiaya has no flash. Like, all of these spells were just used, and that's how I would set the table.
Yeah, I agree. My setup this game has been really weak, honestly.
Could be massive if Sparta can set it up. Pallet actually going to bring Sparta over to the rest of his team. Still holding on to that ultimate as Artemis goes on to Kiaya. They got the Drake as well. And it's huge damage coming down onto the carries. There's another one for Glory. As Levi goes down as well. It's just disaster for the side of Gam.
That team fight wasn't descriptive. Huge damage coming down onto the carries. I wanted more of a description of what was happening to who, by whom, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who was getting in there? Who was scrapping? Who got the kills? Who went in? Who cast their ulti? Right? I just feel like that was very generic.
Yeah.
Right? There was nothing that defined that for me. You could copy and paste that over anything, and it would still work. Huge damage onto the carries is how most fights in League of Legends end. So I want to know how this one was different, how this fight story got told.
I feel like, honestly, watching that previous game, I felt like that was casting that's worthy of an international event, and then this is an actual cast I did at an international event, and I feel like the level is so much lower for some reason. I feel like
the last game was significantly better, yes.
I don't know.
All right, let's watch this fight again.
Cassie, though, has no ultimate. Needs to be careful. Sparta, no flash. But if you're all in the pit here as Gam, maybe this is where Artemis can come alive.
Sparta level 11, so second level on that ultimate. Keep your eyes on the Malphite. The ult has to be huge. Glory over the wall as well. Scatter the weak. Could be massive if Sparta can set it up. Pallet actually going to bring...
You're saying about how Scatter the Weak could be massive, and we already have the engage.
Oh, yeah.
The fight has already started, and you're still doing setup.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not really sure who I'm looking at. Like, I haven't decided what my focus is here.
Yeah, it feels very detached because like the fight is going off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're still talking about setup, and it's already started. I feel like it's because what you were focusing on with your setup was not the characters that were in the fight. It was not the players that were in the initiation. So it's like, okay, I'm going to keep talking about the thing that I was still talking about,
Yeah.
but you needed to pivot fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotter over to the rest of his team, still holding on to that ultimate as Artemis goes on to Kiaya. They got the Drake as well, and it's huge damage coming down onto the carries. There's another one for Glory.
Yeah, there's a lot you could have gone for there. The Unleashed Power, the Dredge line, like there's a lot of credit you could have attributed to the things setting up the kills or acquiring the kills that just didn't happen. Honestly, it was a bad fight. I'm just
think,
gonna be
it was
objective.
terrible. It was terrible.
That was
like,
that
I think
was
that
not good.
me saying like, oh, huge damage down onto the carries, that's literally me saying I have no fucking idea what just happened.
It's just nonsense.
It's
right?
just
It
like a fill
accomplishes
sentence
nothing.
because I
Like,
fucked it. Yeah.
It's audio to fill the void of silence.
Right, literally, yeah. I'm talking because I'm paid to talk. That's the extent
right.
of it.
Yeah, it's like that was a bad fight. That one was not good. So let's look for the bounce back.
For the side of Gam.
The fact that Pallet ends up being caught out there is huge. He's kind of their big engage tool at the moment when Levi doesn't have an ultimate for himself. And I think Team Wales read the situation perfectly. We have the opportunity to take this fight with the ultimates, the position we have, and they fight back against Gam.
I can't believe how clean that fight was. I can't believe how one-sided that fight was. They're so far behind, or at least were so far behind. Now with a Hextech Drake, and it's an Infernal Soul this game.
This is the thing though, watch as Pallet goes in here, watch Sparta's positioning. He steps behind Pallet so he can't actually ult him into the team. So he ends up going away. Kiaya is now overextended to try and get Artemis. Great cleanse by Artemis as Kiaya gets the CC. And then Sparta gets the double knockup as Glory is coming into position off of being forced away on bot side to then set up for the follow-up. Like, it is a beautiful moment across, like positioning from Sparta, the cleanse coming through from Artemis, and then Glory just getting in at the right perfect timing.
Great hook there from Bia at the end of the fight onto Catty. That, I mean, Glory must have felt so good to just throw an auto attack out at the end of the fight and finish off the mid laner that solo killed you in the lane. That's gotta feel cathartic. And you can see the goal difference dropping dramatically from the side of Gam there. Team Wales still behind, make no mistake. 2,500 gold lead still for Gam. The fact that you can lose a fight that handedly and still be 2,500 gold up says a lot. Pallet already low, but Artemis has gone way too far.
That was
forward.
so slow again,
I
bro.
know, yeah.
That was so delayed. You sure you don't have your 1 second
I
delay?
know,
on this
yeah.
one?
What the fuck is going on?
Wait, are you sure on land?
Cut the feed. Cut the feed. I don't want to watch it anymore. I can't watch this game, man. Hang on, I'm gonna go in the other room and scream like Rafa.
No, yeah, that was so delayed. I think you were doing a good job talking about like, hey, that was huge. They came back. Like, you don't expect them to be winning a fight like that, but they are still down in gold. I think you did a good job of sort of establishing where we are in the story of the game.
Yeah.
But then we're still reading from the storybook while the fight's breaking.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just half the time. I feel like I'm not even looking at my fucking screen in this one. It's like when we came out of that replay and they were diving bot, and I just didn't even notice. I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy.
All right.
There. Team Wales still behind. Make no mistake. 2,500 gold lead still for Gam. The fact that you can lose a fight that handedly and still be 2,500 gold up says a lot. Pallet already low, but Artemis has gone way too far forward. He's just destroyed. Glory might be in the same boat. As Slater jumps on forward to finish the kill.
The energy for this fight was also way off. This feels more like you're commentating like a 2v2 scrap in top lane at 5 minutes versus like a full all-in Gam responding to the previous fight where they lost.
Yeah.
I would have actually wanted your energy level at like +3 compared to that. I feel like you were at a 3 and I would have wanted a 6 for that one.
To try and keep control of this game, but
It's like at the start of the fight, I can get why I'm not ready for that, because that is the most engage angle I've ever seen from Wales. But at the same time, once it starts, like it's like I'm not aware that it's kicked off.
Like right here, this is explosion territory, right? Like this is crazy.
Putting Artemis into the team. Then you get the follow-up onto the Cinder damage as well. And Slater just barely able to walk away from that one, but not so much for Catty.
Yeah, I don't think Catty's getting out of this one alive. Here with another hook. Great ultimate from Sparta. Artemis being chased down by Kiaya. That's a lot of space, though. The Croc might fall on this one. Doesn't have the damage. Artemis trying to kite away here. Levi has the ultimate available. Wants to try and save it. Slater will finish it off underneath the tower. Walks away with his life. Glory arriving on the scene. I don't think this is a 2v1 he can take right now.
Still top lane going down. Pallet, where are you off to, buddy?
Yeah, no reinforcements this time. You may have 4 kills, but you're still playing set. Everyone dodges the true damage, and they will finish the job off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Shut down. It's fucking BJ.
The tower didn't go down in bot lane. The charge didn't go across from the Rift Tower. Glory was able to interrupt it, so Team Wales actually fight the 1-for-1, get tower, but might be Glory who falls now that Levi has ult.
Yeah, huge kill there. Slater, easy finish off. Double ultimate used on the bottom
This
side.
game is madness,
It's
bro.
ridiculous.
You know,
I feel
Like,
like
what,
in
what
hindsight,
the hell is happening?
This is basically solo queue. But, like,
they get the tower, they match kills.
I feel like in theory this should be a play-by-play's dream though, and I'm just not like. I feel like I've not accepted the fact that this is how this game is going to be played, and I keep expecting them to go back to normal gameplay, and it's just not happening.
I think that's a really good observation because I agree. I think that you are still casting this as if it's, you know, World's Group Stage T1 versus Gen
Yeah,
G,
exactly.
and we're going slow and steady
Yeah.
versus whatever the fuck is happening right now.
C champion, kill champion.
Yeah. Like this is absolute pants on head League of Legends, and you have to embrace pants on head League
Yeah.
of Legends when it happens.
I feel like as well, like, you know, I'm coming into Worlds as like the LPL guy, right? I should be just fucking cheering from the rooftops that it's just fucking carnage, right? Like that's what everyone thinks of
absolutely.
LPL
Lean
for,
into
right?
it.
So
Lean into it, man.
Yeah.
Embrace that reputation.
yeah, exactly. God damn. I'm like mad at myself at this cast, honestly.
You get full vision control on the spot side for Dragon in a
But I know,
minute's time.
you know,
And wave push,
I
this
know
is
what to
where you
not
try and
do.
second Dragon very
Exactly.
easily.
Lose
And I
is
have to
improve,
say,
baby.
as
Lose
much as
Exactly,
we talk
exactly,
about
exactly.
How action-packed we expected this series to be, it's all coming to a
Ah,
head.
back in the days
We've got
before
more than a
lethality,
kill a
Callista.
minute
Take
so
me back.
far in this game. And with Drake spawning in 45 seconds, you got to expect there's going to be more.
But this is the thing. I think if you're looking at Team Wales, you have to try and play to pull GAM out of their comfort zone. If you can try and set up and play off the vision you have established at Baron, maybe you can try and push mid and draw GAM into this area. Because if you're walking in blind to Sparta, to Glory, these kind of CC opportunities, it's going to set you up well. I don't think they have enough control over the bottom side right now to keep it in check. Though Kiaya a bit late to the play here, so it looks like Team Wales will be able to fight for mid priority and actually get the vision control that they need back on this river area.
It does feel like GAM with 2 items on Slater already in a fantastic spot for this fight. If Slater can position correctly, he will one-shot people with this build, and assuming he's not on Sparta at very least.
Keep your eyes on Levi. Flashes up. Ult just came up, but there's the stun!
Great combo. It's only onto the clone, though. Sparta couldn't quite find his target, and now he's just going to be chased out. Force the flash. Does get the shockwave out from Catty. We go back to the status quo.
Levi
Fine
still
so
has
far.
us engaged though, and that's where GAM actually have the advantage. You need BA. This has to be a huge knockup from BA, but there goes Levi.
I wouldn't have passed it back. I wouldn't have given it back to Dagda. I would have kept talking.
Yeah.
Because there's no way for you to know how long of a pause there's going to be in that action. I would have kept the ball. This is...
Yeah.
I actually think the mistake is being a team player here. You shouldn't hand it back right now. You should stay in control of it so you can keep the energy and measure the cadence of what's going on and be ready to immediately change it. Because as soon as you hand it back, you are not only like losing your ability to drive what happens, but you're also putting pressure on him. Because then if he ends up like just even making the smallest statement, but a fight explodes, now he's got to try to fumble and hand it back to you really fast. You should not have handed it back there.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I would have kept it.
So I'll explain the logic. I agree with you. I don't think this was a good time to do it, but remember earlier in the game when Rob did a little bit of play-by-play when it was absolutely chaotic?
Right.
This is the same like mentality where we were trying to do these like fast swaps, and I do fundamentally believe in the fast swaps because I think it like keeps energy quite high and keeps the cast feeling like it's got a lot of movement and a lot of energy in it.
Okay.
However, I don't think that this was the moment because like these guys just want to fucking fight, and all they've done all game is fucking fight instantly. So I don't think it was going to be the standoff that I obviously thought it was at the time.
We have 21 kills in 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's really high for a
I just
pro
needed
game.
to commit, yeah.
Like, and the one earlier where you guys were passing it off, like, back and forth was also, like, 11 minutes into the game or something. It's where the fights are naturally slower and more isolated. It's usually, like, 2v2s and 3v3s versus 5v5s. This is a 5v5 standoff in the river, 21 minutes into the game with 21 kills on the board. And big resources have already been spent. Again, I'm going to go back to this point that I keep hitting on. Flash from Malphite, ult from Malphite, flash from Wukong, like flash from Orianna, ult from Orianna. There's a lot of shit that's been spent. Nobody's walking away from this saying, all right, we'll try again next time.
Yeah.
They're going in. So
Yeah, true,
I would have kept the ball. I would have kept the ball.
I agree.
Levi into the back line, but there's not much follow-up from the rest of his team. They all back away here. Glory still alive. Kiaya getting into the back line of Sparta, trying to tank. Slayer has gone so deep for this one, but he's totally alone. Slayer versus the world. He gets underneath the tower, but look at the spears. Rendered and taken down, but Pallet saves the day again. Levi now looking for more as the hook comes out from Beer to escape the play. Bean J alongside him, no ultimate available as we're just in full retreat for Team Wales.
Bean J needs to start landing some of these sonic waves.
All right, let's go back and do this one again. 1 second.
Is causing them
trying to tank. Slayer has
God
got
damn it. It's a long fight.
still has this engaged though, and that's where GAM actually have the advantage. You need BA. This has to be a huge knockup from BA, but there goes Levi.
Levi into the back line, but there's not much follow-up from the rest of his team. They all back away here. Glory still alive. Kiaya getting into the back line of Sparta, trying to tank. Slayer has gone so deep for this one, but he's totally alone. Slater versus the world. He gets underneath the tower, but look at the spears. Rendered and taken down, but Pallet saves the day again. Levi now looking for more as the hook comes out from Beer to escape the play. Bean J alongside him, no ultimate available as we're just in full retreat for Team Wales.
Bean J needs to start landing some of these sonic waves.
I don't like the save the day comment because save the day implies that you foiled a plan, right? Like the bad guy didn't win. The bad guy just won. They killed Slater. He's dead. I would have much rather preferred it to be framed as, Pallet getting something back, Pallet getting revenge, Pallet hitting them right back.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I see what you mean.
I feel like that would have been more honest to the way that fight played out. Because this wasn't Team Wales going for a big move and then Pallet saving the show and it all ends up okay, right? Like this is still a 3-for-2 trade. This is another goddamn bloodbath.
Yeah.
And yes, he makes it a 1-for-1, but I feel like saving the day is not
it's like
the
consolation
accurate descriptor
prize,
of
not
what happened.
yeah. I agree with that, yeah. I like the focus on Pallet, and I like obviously the observers agreed with me that it was all about Slater there, but I don't think the wording on it was good particularly.
Right, yeah, that could have been improved.
I do think the focus in this fight was a lot better than the other fights so far this game, which is not really saying that much, but
the
wording
focus
not great.
The focus was solid in this one, but the wording and the way that you described the events definitely has some min-max potential.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Overextension from Team Wales because he hasn't been landing these Qs is causing them major issues. See, that's overextend for Slater on the bot lane tower, and that's where Pallet's able to come in to finish off Artemis. Now GAM have control over Dragon, but I don't know how much control they have. Glory, TP available, now coming back up. Sparta going to be able to TP in just a matter of seconds, and his ult is just around the corner.
Yeah, he wants to go. PJ's just looking for a 2v1 here, and he'll find it as well. Levi pulled back in. No, great clone coming out from him. Sparta's TP'd in. Glory actually managing to hold on to his TP as well, realizing they've taken.
This is
control
full
of
on
the
solo
play.
queue.
That means he can just move to the bottom lane.
Yeah.
This will be a second Drake for Wales.
Let's
It
go
shouldn't
back.
have gone this way.
Do that one again.
I think I need to go way bigger when BJ literally just fucking
Available.
solo
Now coming
kills
back up.
the enemy
Sparta
mid
will be able
laner.
to TP in just a matter of seconds, and his ult is just around the corner.
Yeah, he wants to go. PJ's just looking for a 2v1 here, and he'll find it as well. Levi pulled back in. No, great
Yeah.
clone coming out from
So,
him. Sparta's TP'd in.
again,
Glory actually
I
managing
think
to
you
hold.
were a fraction of a second slow in ramping up. And you could have just been there slightly faster. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to hang on that point because also, it's in the moment. I understand that, we're watching this with perfect knowledge as an
Yeah.
after the fact thing. But going bigger after he gets the kill, bruh, yes.
Yeah.
He just
yeah.
went in and killed the fucking mid laner at 22 minutes into the game in a 27 kill game.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually a potential game winning play to
Yeah.
find that. That's crazy.
I think I think I'm still like, he hits that Q on Catty, and I'm still like, nah, he's looking for the Drake. They've zoned him away, and he's going to go to the Drake, and then he follows the Q. But it's like, why am I not expecting him to follow the Q? He's not followed any other Q this game.
Exactly.
At every
You've gotta be
opportunity,
honest
these
to the
teams
game
have
that you're
butted
watching.
heads. Like,
If this was T1 versus Gen G, he pokes with the Q and he goes to Dragon. Absolutely, you're 100% right. This is not T1 versus Gen G.
yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, and I think that's one of the most important things is it's another one of those things where people always are like, oh, well, why are you getting so hyped during this fucking Clown Fiesta in a game or whatever? It's like, because that's what's happening. That's the game that we're watching, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you've got to be honest with what's happening in front of your eyes. And what's happening in front of our eyes right now is a goddamn party.
Yeah.
So, brother, I hope you've got a beer and a party hat
Yeah,
because nobody's dressing fancy for this one.
Yeah. Get the fucking disco ball spinning.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. It's going to be a good time.
Lock in fucking cleanse and ghost because it's a disco.
Control of the play. Means he can just move to the bottom lane. This will be a second Drake for Wales.
I mean, it shouldn't have gone this way, but you'd be happy as it is Team Wales managing to get that play, to get the Dragon for themselves and some kills back, but messy stuff on both sides. Everyone is tossing everything and the kitchen sink at each other to try and find some advantage, but it's not really coming in for either.
And just imagine the world where those 5 kills that Pallet has are on some carries.
Again, though, coming into this, right? Sparta, the engage is already gone. So this is great from Levi, but you called it in the fight. Nobody there on Levi to follow up. And Slater's caught in the pit. So Slater feels the need now to overextend to finish Glory, but he's in a terrible position because Sparta is just tanking all this damage from the backline on top side. But this Q needed to hit from BJ because now Artemis is overextended underneath the tower. Pallet is set up then to follow up, and it means that they're not able to just have Artemis stay safe in this fight. And now with the consistent damage down, that's why GAM are able to try and follow up. But as he said, Catty thinks he has way more that he can do in this scenario, but once that damage lands, we've already got the core drinker here from BJ. He's able to keep himself nice and healthy, Conqueror stacked. It's easy pickings for BJ.
And I think awkward pathing there from Pallet as well, going into the pit to Hex Flash over, but couldn't actually join. So it ends up actually being a 2v2, even though there was 3 players on the map for GAM.
I do want to bring us back into focusing on items after the team fight damage. You can see Artemis doing some work.
My goodness.
The Nashor's Tooth just picked up for Slater. Absolutely massive for the Kaisa. She's going to be a menace now in these fights, especially if you can proc that ultimate. Or sorry, proc that passive.
Yeah.
Also looking at Artemis, Gwinsu's Blade of the Rune King. He's in a great spot. Stopwatch as well to stop some of these engages from Kiaya or even Levi if he manages to get onto him. So both AD carries are going to be firing a hell of a lot of damage in these fights. And Kiaya wants to try and get a flank off here, so you need to be very careful if you're Artemis.
Certainly do. And it feels like the next couple of fights could decide everything. GAM, they want this so bad. Did they get spotted? I don't think so there, but they've cleared it anyway, so that'll give away the ghost. Sparta's trying to move in. Kiaya still behind enemy lines. Artemis actually cutting towards him here, getting behind the play. Binjai there to support, but Glory's gone down. In the meantime, Kiaya still surviving. The kick across the team here. Sonic Wave onto Slater as Kiaya should finally fall. Artemis still alive, getting one for himself as Slater. Kiting back. Binjai with his team. Pilot pulls Artemis in as well, but Binjai gets onto Slater. He doesn't have the damage though. Slater's so huge in this game, and Artemis is still kiting, still going, but he's totally
I feel like you needed to be higher tempo in that fight because there was so much going on.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the things that you covered were wrong necessarily. But I feel like for everything that you mentioned, there were 2 more things of equal importance that you didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
When you say higher tempo, do you mean just like talk faster, hit more things, or?
Yes. Yes. I mean, be able to cover more of what's going on in the fight for those types of fights specifically. And I'm a very big proponent of I don't think that Rap God casting is objectively the best casting or anything like that. I think that you can actually achieve like really strong performances and really high gravity calls without doing it at all.
Yeah.
But there's in a fight like that, words per minute have so much value because so much is happening.
I agree.
Damage in
So,
these
like-
fights. And Kiaya wants to try and get a flank off here, so you need to be very careful if you're Artemis.
Certainly do. And it feels like the next
And I
couple of
can
fights
Rap God way harder than
They
this as well.
want this
I do
so
agree.
bad.
Yeah.
Did they get spotted? I don't think so there.
Yeah,
but
'cause,
they
like, they're
cleared it
starting.
Anyway, so that'll give away
Okay,
the
we're
ghost.
chilling, we're
Sparta's trying
chilling.
to move in. Kiaya still behind enemy lines. Artemis actually cutting towards him here, getting behind the play.
Like
Binjai
right there, as
to
you're
support,
saying,
but
like
Glory's gone down. In the meantime,
like kiting towards him here as Wukong's dashing in, I know that you could say both of those things at once, right?
Yeah.
We're not going for the engage on Callista as immediately Levi dives in on the enemy carry. Like there's a lot can be covered that is not being covered, and they're all of equal gravity. So if you don't have to choose, don't choose.
Yeah.
Just go faster. And I know that that's like really, it's like Korean advice.jpg. Yes, just play the game at a higher level. Like just go faster. But I think this is a fight where speed actually gives a lot of value.
Yeah. I think this is a game where speed gives a lot of value. In a like, I don't think just Rap Godding is that good that often, honestly, but I feel like this is actually one of those games where it's maybe just the the best way to cast this kind of craziness where it's like fights on 3 fronts every single fight.
Yes.
Like
speed matters
I
more
agree.
the more hectic the game is, right? If you have Juggernaut Kog'Maw versus Juggernaut Jinx in like a slow front-to-back team fight, you don't have to Rap God because it's more about just like the flow of the fight. But if you have this absolutely crazy bullshit-ass Gam versus Team Whales, everybody's dying, everybody's flying all the time.
Yeah.
Speed does a lot.
Yeah.
Kiaya still surviving. The kick across the team here. Sonic Wave onto Slater as Kiaya should finally fall. Artemis still alive, getting one for himself as Slater. Kiting back. Binjai with his team. Pilot pulls Artemis in as well, but Binjai gets onto Slater. He doesn't have the damage though. Slater's so huge in this game, and Artemis
like you start
still
like your speed actually hits the level that I wanted to hear you at by the end.
But it's too late, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you ramped up over the course of the fight, and if you were able to ramp up faster and be at that speed throughout the fight, it would have been
they have the health bar on Levi.
a
They're
big
turn
hit.
over towards the bar.
Yeah.
Gam get their opportunity to take control of this game now as Catty moves in to help with that Baron. And this is such a messy fight for Wales.
And Kiaya is on a ward, so they knew this was happening. The cleanse from Artemis, it's a good positioning from him. But again, with Glory going down, there's not really enough damage there but from just Artemis to carry this fight, especially with both of the damage dealers on Gam still up and available. This ult as well hits onto the clone. These clones have been getting so much value from the Wukong, where the Nautilus goes in, gets the knock-up, Binjai tries to escape, but Slater flashes in to follow up on it, and then Artemis is just running for the hills. So you see work trying to be done in these fights, but there's just not enough if Glory's going to go down like that.
And now Gam get themselves a Red Bull Baron power play to work with. Catty The missed timing on the scat of the week, and now Artemis has to use that stopwatch, but the entire gang is here. Catty the target, Artemis low on HP, but still surviving. No, Kiaya cuts him down, and Catty survives as well. Kiaya still full HP. How is this a 1-5 for Gam? And now Bean J is going to be caught out. Sparta trying to just buy space for his team, but knocked up himself, and will slowly be whittled down. Glory trying to save his man.
I feel like you were not sure of your words. Just the way that your cadence is in this fight, like trying to buy space, that's not a natural thing that people say, right? You're trying to buy time or you're trying to make space. So I am, and this is something that most people aren't going to pick up on because most people don't like pay attention to commentary style, like stylistic choices and shit like that. But from somebody who does know this, I'm watching this and I'm like, I feel like he's trying to discover his words, like in the way that he wants to weave them together as this fight goes, versus being confident. This fight does not feel like it has confidence to me, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So let's go back and do it again.
The missed timing on the scat of the week, and now Artemis has to use that stopwatch, but the entire gang is here. Catty the target, Artemis low on HP, but still surviving. No, Kiaya cuts him down, and Catty survives as well. Kiaya still full HP. How is this a 1-5 for Gam? And now Bean J is going to be caught out. Sparta trying to just buy space.
I think the how is this a one fight, the rhetorical question, the fight is still too high octane for rhetorical questions. Instead of Kiaya's still full HP, how is this a one fight? I would go with more of an angle of Kiaya's still full HP and Gam is not done with this fight. 2 dead bodies and they're looking for more. The whales are beached and Gam is running them over. Like one of those types of leading it forward versus because the rhetorical question is almost always going to be the end of a paragraph.
Yeah, it's like still going big picture with the call, but not like end of fight call and not like I guess the how is this a one fight is like there's nowhere to go from that. Whereas there are bigger macro, the big sort of big picture calls that you could go for that don't close the conversation.
Yes, exactly. When almost every time you make a rhetorical question, it does not have a natural follow-up. It ends whatever conversation is happening, and then a new conversation starts. So if you ask a rhetorical question in the middle of a fight, you are naturally interrupting your own cadence.
Yeah.
So that's
space for his team, but knocked up himself and will slowly be whittled down. Glory trying to save his Malphite, but I don't think there's anything that can be done. And Pallet, you're going nowhere, Glory. Pallet is taking control of this. He wants a Swiss.
Glory is going nowhere, but I can tell you where Gam are going, and it's the base of Team Wales off the back of a magnificent
really good follow-up from Dagda there. I know that Dagda's not here, but I really like his follow-up, like incorporating the language of the call.
They want a Swiss today, that's for sure. A 10,000 gold lead as they start to hammer away at the Nexus. In goes BS try and buy time, but this is all Gam. They remind Team Wales why they were the first seed out from the BCS, and they qualify to the World Championship Swiss stage.
That was a much better ending call than the previous game. I know that so much of what we did this game was comparing it to the previous one because the previous one overall was higher quality. The ending call for this one was much better because it focused on the team as a whole. It focused on the consequence of the match. Those are the 2 biggest things that I want to hear about for an end call, especially for like, you know, a Worlds game or an MSI game or whatever, is the team and what does this win mean?
Yeah.
Like those are the 2 big things. You hit both of them. The win call, I know that you're very critical of yourself for this cast because it was one of your weaker ones. The end call is something that you can find a victory in and like look at it as, yo, even if the overall cast was not the best, the end call was on the level.
Yeah. I think that's a really good guideline for endgame calls, is focus on the team and on the consequence. I think that's a really good sort of moniker.
That's the general way to look at it, in my opinion. That's the default, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the team, talk about what it means.
Yeah.
What's the team? What's it mean? There you go. Bing, bang, boom. It even rhymes.
What's the team?
And
What's it
so-
mean?
Yeah, what's a team? What's it mean? If
Love
you're
it.
not answering those two questions in the in-game call, then you didn't do the call the best way, right? That's like when I did when I made my one for DRX 2022 World Finals. They've been doubted, they've been discounted, they've been dismissed, but DRX are your 2022 World Champions. It had to have the name, it had to talk about what it was about, and then the extra alliterative crap was just like stylistic stuff. But it still covers both those baselines, right?
Hmm.
The Crownless are finally king. IG are your 2018 World Champions.
I think that's one of the
It's-
best calls ever, actually. I think that might be the best endgame call ever.
I'm glad you liked it so much. It's I stole it from Tolkien. It's taken from the deep roots are not reached by the frost poem. Whereas
Ah.
yeah, it's Tolkien. Fnatic had one too. But I had a Tolkien ending call for both Fnatic and IG at the end of 2018.
Do you remember what the
But-
Fnatic one was? If they had
I
won?
don't. I had it written down, but I don't recall what it was. It
Yeah.
was a so whereas IG's was the Crownless are finally king, I believe that Fnatic's was something about how, because remember Fnatic won the season 1 championship back before it was Worlds.
Yeah.
So instead of a Crownless are finally king, it was more of like a return to glory type of thing. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
it was
yeah.
something from like the end of
The Return of the King?
yeah, it was something from Return of the King. Like
Yeah.
essentially, it was a likening to Aragorn, if I remember correctly. But
Nice.
I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah. Damn, that's
But
sick,
yeah.
dude. That's sick.
So that's yeah, I'm not even original. I'm just a phony. I just steal my shit from the progenitor of all modern fantasy.
Being inspired is not the same as not being unoriginal. Dude,
But-
this has been fucking sick. This has been
I was
fucking
gonna
amazing.
say, I hope this was constructive. I hope this was able to like accomplish the goal that you set out for it in terms of being able to review your own cast and find some growth in that.
Yeah, I've got quite a few notes actually of like
Awesome.
pieces that I tried to get notes that were like more not super focused on just the fight necessarily, but more like big picture, like
Right.
things I could take away to bring into future casts. I have
Philosophy
a
stuff.
few,
versus
yeah, like a
individual
few
games.
small, like I feel like you've done a really good job during this VOD review of like saying important things in a concise way so that it's like memorable. So like,
Cool.
you know, faster fight, faster cast, focusing on the team of the consequences in the endgame call. And like the live game is for the like live emotions, and then the replay is for the breakdown. Worry about all that shit
Yeah.
afterwards. Like things like this. Like it's all stuff that I like sort of know, but I've never like acknowledged it out loud, you know?
Yeah, and that's honestly, I think that's what's important about these things. Like, we can go into really nitpicky bullshit about like minute details all day long, but that doesn't matter. The most important thing about doing these types of reviews and looking back and watching your own VODs is finding something meaningful that will actually change the way that you function in the future.
Yeah.
So if you are able to find a meaningful piece of information that will change how you function in the future for good, then that means I did my job.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough. This has been really, really helpful for me. And now I just got to take it to LPL.
There you go, brother.
And
There
hopefully
you go.
into Worlds. We'll have
That's
to see.
hey, that's what I'm looking forward to. Worlds 2024. I'll see you there, all right?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
That's the goal.
Absolutely.
All right. And yo, one of these days soon, we got to get whenever the next time you're back here in the good old US of A, we'll have to have all the boys back over here and play some more video games in the living room, have a couple of beers, and just hang out and have a good time.
Hell yeah, dude. Also, Worlds in Europe this year, so if you do come over for Worlds, even if I'm not casting, I will probably come over into
Hell yes,
mainland
brother.
Europe and whatever, so
Hell yes, that'll be a good time. I'll make sure to hit up the boys. We'll have another one of those.
yeah.
Wait, you know what? Cagel's probably rich in co-stream money right now. We'll get him to have like one of the big hotel rooms, and we'll have a Mongolian techno party in Cagel's room. That's
Hell
what we'll do.
fucking
It's gonna be
yes,
fucking
dude.
sick.
I'm
It's
there.
gonna be
I'm there in a
fucking
heartbeat.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
close off this call now. I'm gonna thank the subs, and then we're gonna end the stream. But
Yeah.
hell yeah! I'm
Thank
glad
you so
that
much,
you
man.
had a constructive experience with this, and I wish you the best, the absolute best of luck in the LPL coming up in summer.
Thank you, man. Can I just do one quick shout out to your chat? LPL starts tomorrow. Make sure you're tuning in.
Tomorrow!
I'm not casting tomorrow. I'll be casting the day after tomorrow. So if you want to see me put all of this into practice, day after tomorrow, I'll be casting on the LPL stream.
There you go, chat. LPL's coming up. Tune in. Watch some League of Legends. Turns out these guys are pretty fucking good.
Watch the second best League of Legends in the world, because fucking Korea won again. God damn it. All right, man.
All right, man. I'll catch
Thanks
you
so
later.
much. Appreciate you, man.
Peace.
Catch it. All right. That was Captain Flowers. Guys, what do you reckon? Any thoughts? Any questions? Thanks, everyone, for tuning